I hope Gary's watching. Gary, if you're not watching, tune in. You're not going to like tonight much at all, if I have to say it. Welcome in. We're going to burn some bottoms tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Uncle Baron is heated. Uncle Baron is heated indeed. He's got his military green hoodie. Never served in the military, but I do respect those who did, except for that piece of trash, Gary. And we will get to piece of trash Gary in just a little bit because we've got a lot to cover tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Gary's not in the title. That was by design. Oh, Gary, this might not be the night for you to simulcast my show live in an attempt to get viewers for your piece of trash, low-rated show. This might not be the night, particularly if Jenn's involved. Jenn is not going to like tonight's show at all. I can assure you that because I have a feeling Jenn is one of the ones feeding you this trash day in and day out. You've become a significantly worse human being after bringing her on in February-ish. And I decided over the last couple of days, who is this person? Who is Gary? Who is Jenn? We'll tell you. We'll tell you. Hat tip, ladies and gentlemen. It goes right to the Einstein files. It goes right to fraud. It goes right to veteran stalking. It goes right to the worst human being I've dealt with in quite some time. But first, I'm sorry, guys. I don't get heated. You know, my philosophy is I let people vent. Welcome in. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. I let people vent. And I give them a lot of rope. And then one day I poke back. And I usually do it playfully. It's usually a sign. You know, it's like if you're boxing a 5-year-old and they come at you and they start really that you're playing around, you're just kind of poking and they really sock you in the face one time and you think you might give them a little pushback, like just a little jab, like, hey, don't do that again. And I've done it a few times, just a little poking around here and there. Well, I'm going to knock a 5-year-old out. If I may say that, I'm going to knock a 5-year-old out and his little trash piece of white trash that hangs out on his show. So we'll talk about that tonight, guys. If you don't like negativity, change the channel. You're not going to like tonight at all. If you don't like negativity, well, maybe just watch the first segment or two, and then we'll flip. I'll let you know when the switch gets flipped, and I'll let you know when it's time to tune out if you don't like negativity. If you don't like pieces of trash being exposed, stalkers, people who take advantage of veterans, people who parade around as if they're veterans, mislead people like they're veterans, stolen valor, wearing military uniforms, wearing military regalia, having never served. If you don't like that, if you don't like people sitting in the laps of people who were arrested in Mexico for underage children, if you don't like that kind of stuff, if you don't want to see those images, then turn the channel when we get there. Because that's who Gary has producing his show. Allegedly, in my opinion. Gary has a producer who fawns all over people who get arrested in Mexico for diddling. That's allegedly, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion. And we're going to talk about it in depth tonight. But first, I'm so heated right now, guys. But first, I do want to get to an opening statement that I think has application because it's not just Gary that has pieces of trash hired. It's not just Gary that has low budget, horrific people, low character, low quality character individuals working for him, destroying his good name, destroying everything he's built. It's not just Gary. It's also the Charlie Kirk show. They keep Blake Neff on staff. Blake Neff is a verified racist, misogynist a-hole. That's what he is. And it's not even allegedly, in my opinion. Like, he admitted it. He admitted that he said all these things over a 5-year period, harassing a poor Asian woman and everybody who might happen to be a minority. And so you've got Blake Neff ruining Charlie Kirk's name, driving their views down to disproportionately poor values. You've got that. And then you got Gary, who hires this gal. Maybe he's blinded by her top half or whatever. I'm not sure, but he hires this gal, and I don't think he knows her history. I'll let him know about it tonight. And he might be in grave danger. Gary, you might be in grave danger. You might have bitten off more than you could chew. But before we get there, I want to set up my attack on Blake Neff by talking about the Karen Reed case. because Karen Reed filed a complaint today that just about everybody's talking about. Karen Reed, of course, was the woman charged with killing her boyfriend in Massachusetts a few years ago. She was just acquitted, I think, last year. I had a lot of people suggesting I cover this case at some point in time. I'm going to talk about it a little bit tonight, just as a setup, because she filed a lawsuit today, and we'll look at parts of it. The people who prosecuted her said some of the most vile, racist, horrific things you've ever seen. I mean, just horrific things. Almost as bad as things Blake Neff says about minorities and women. Almost as bad. But the difference between Blake Neff and the officers who prosecuted Karen Reed is they had the dignity to resign or be fired. For some reason, TPUSA, The Charlie Kirk Show, Andrew Colvett, Tyler Boyer keep Blake Neff around. Makes you wonder why. What does Blake Neff have on them? What compromising material does he have? I don't know. There may be none. Maybe they're just into that. Maybe that's like a kink they have at TPUSA. Maybe they're into racism, sexism. Maybe they're into stalking Asian women over the course of 5 years, maybe as many as 10. Maybe they didn't notice that when Blake Neff was coming back from Korea, his 5-year dormant thread attacking a poor Korean woman who just, her great sin in life was being single and not finding the right man, not finding Mr. Right yet. That's her grave sin in life, ladies and gentlemen, is she's a single Asian woman who has not yet partnered up with somebody. And Blake Neff happens to go to Korea around a lot of Asian women and on his way back, a dormant thread fires up and this Korean woman comes under assault again. Verbal assault. Stalking behavior. Really horrific stalking behavior. And so the Karen Reed case sort of has a nice parallel with what happened to Blake Neff. A nice contrast with what happened to Blake Neff. Charlie Kirk Show keeps him quite employed, even though what he said may actually be worse than what we'll read tonight in the Karen Reed case. But it also sets up a nice parallel with the Tyler Robinson case, because if you only read what the prosecutors had to say in the Tyler Robinson case, you only read what happened with the prosecution's case, you would think Karen Reed was guilty. You would think there's no question she did it. There was DNA evidence. There was a broken taillight. We'll talk about all that and more. But there was a whole lot that could lead somebody to believe she was guilty. And you wouldn't be hard pressed to believe that she was guilty. So I want to talk about the case, and then I want to talk about the text messages, and I want to contrast it with Tyler Robinson's case and Blake Neff. One of the worst, frankly, people to ever come into Charlie Kirk's orbit. And that's saying a lot. That's saying a whole lot. Because the Karen Reed case, just if you don't remember, it kind of captivated national attention a few years ago. It was one of the most contentious criminal trials in recent history. And it centered on the death of a guy named John O'Keefe. John O'Keefe was a Boston police officer. And he died back in January of 2022. And there were allegations against Karen Reed, who was his girlfriend at the time. And the police sort of put out an open and shut case, it looked like at the time, that Karen Reed struck O'Keefe with her car, an SUV, backed over him, and then left him to die. There was a blizzard going on. They were outside the home of a fellow police officer. Of course, the defense comes back and they have their own narrative and they say there's a cover-up and all this. And they sounded like conspiracy theorists. A lot of people said, hey, the defense sounds like conspiracy theorists. Does this sound familiar so far? And they had dueling experts. They had questions about the way evidence was handled. There was very intense public scrutiny. And eventually, after 2 trials, Karen Reed was acquitted on the major charges. She was convicted of, I don't know what they call it in Massachusetts, operating under influence or something, OUI. I'm not sure what it's called. A DUI. She was basically convicted of a DUI, give or take. John O'Keefe, he was 46 years old. He'd been on the Boston Police Department for 16 years, or the police department for 16 years. He was a dedicated officer. He was the guardian to his niece. He had some personal losses in the family that were tragic. Karen Reed was 42, and she was a financial analyst. She was also an adjunct professor at Bentley University. I have family ties to Bentley University. My second cousin went to Bentley University. Believe it or not. But they rekindled a relationship. They'd known each other a while. And in 2020, they fired it back up and they got back into a relationship. And the relationship was not great. They had some pretty obvious strains. And there were some text messages and voicemails, even from the night that O'Keefe died, that looked bad, if we're being honest. They looked bad for Karen Reed. But that evening, the evening he died, they'd gone out with some friends. They went for drinks at some bars. They visited a bar called C.F. McCarthy's. They went to a bar called Waterfall. And the group included like some other police officers. And so as the bars close, they say, well, the party's not over. Let's continue it. And they go over to a friend's house. It's on 34 Fairview Road. That address, if you listen to the 911 calls, and I did, they say that address a lot. So just imprints in your brain. But crucially, the party was at an officer's house, a guy named Brian Albert. He was a fellow police officer. His son was celebrating his birthday. And Reed drove O'Keefe over there in her black Lexus SUV. And they get there, frankly, way too late. It's 12:24 a.m. when they pull up. And she said she waited outside because she didn't feel comfortable going in without being invited. It was after midnight. And I think that's fairly believable. So he goes up, the O'Keefe guy goes up, and cell phone data on O'Keefe's phone shows him taking about 36 steps or so, is what they estimated. And then stopped. And then it locked. And no one ever saw him again. Reed said she never saw him go in or out of the house. She said there was very heavy snow. It was blinding. She couldn't even see the front of the house, she wouldn't have known if he went in. And she finally grew impatient and drove back to his home where his niece and nephew were staying. And from there, she made a lot of calls to him and left some really angry voicemails. And she was very frustrated. She was also very drunk. They estimated her blood alcohol could have been as high as 0.29, which is well above the legal limit, obviously. Almost 4 times the legal limit. And then she fell asleep. And around 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up and he's still not home, and she freaks out, or she gets a little concerned. She starts searching around. She gets Brian Albert, the guy's house they were at. She gets his sister-in-law in on it. They go back to the house over there at 34 Fairview Road, and around 6 a.m., they discover O'Keefe's body. They find him. He's in the front yard. He's partially covered in snow, and he's kind of out near a flagpole. And so the emergency responders come. They pronounce him dead at the hospital. And Karen Reed is hysterically, almost sounds like she's confessing at the scene. She kept repeating, "I hit him." Or maybe she was asking, "I hit him?" But it was unclear. People heard it differently. And so the defense had to argue that these were not spontaneous admissions, that these were, in fact, panicked questions. She was asking if she hit him. And so you begin to see how the prosecution can build a pretty solid case, especially when you get to the autopsy. His cause of death was blunt trauma. You get run over, you got blunt trauma. Hypothermia. They didn't give a specific manner of death. In other words, they didn't say this particular item caused this particular injury. And they said there was no obvious sign of a fight. But the defense said, hey, he's got injuries on his arms. That looks like a fight. They said it looks like he might have been bitten by dogs. That could be some kind of a kerfuffle. And they emphasized that the Alberts, whose home they were at, had a German Shepherd. And the German Shepherd actually was later rehomed as if it might be violent. So the defense argues, hey, these are dog bites, not vehicle trauma. And in addition to that, O'Keefe had swollen eyes and some other marks on his body. So the prosecution's theory is basically for vehicular homicide. They say, hey, it looks like she ran him over. They built their case on physical evidence, digital evidence, and they alleged Karen Reed was drunk and angry and backed over O'Keefe. And then she got freaked out and drove away. And she left him there in the snow, and he died due to hypothermia. And they highlighted now listen to this list of evidence here. And this is, I compare this to Tyler Robinson, because if you're only hearing the prosecution's argument, it sounds pretty bad. For example, the prosecution says, hey, there's broken taillight pieces from her Lexus at the scene. That sounds bad. And some of the broken taillight pieces have O'Keefe's DNA on them. Oh, that sounds really bad. That's really bad. A strand of hair on the rear of the SUV matched O'Keefe. Oh, gosh. Now we have his DNA on the SUV. We have SUV on him, broken taillight. You have vehicle data showing a backing event or a reverse movement, as if she backed over him and broke the taillight on him, left a little hair on the car. And then she repeatedly, again, said at the scene, I hit him. And her voicemail sounded like a little unhinged. So they argue, hey, she's intoxicated. It impaired her judgment. She runs over him. She leaves the scene. Initially, it was just manslaughter. They later upgraded it to second-degree murder. Now the defense gets a hold of it and they says, hey, this is a frame job. There's a third party at fault here. Sound familiar? She had a high-profile defense team, and they painted a pretty starkly different picture from the prosecution. They contended O'Keefe never entered the home and that he might have been involved in a fight. He might have been involved in a fight because he looked beaten, and possibly by the partygoers that included police officer Brian Albert, ATF agent guy named Brian Higgins, and then the family dog may have joined in the melee. His body was then dragged outside and staged to look like a hit and run with evidence planted at the scene, or at least manipulated to frame Reed, such as the broken taillight, the hair on the car. You know, it looks like a frame job. And so the defense points to a few things. They say, hey, he's got injuries inconsistent with a vehicle backing over him. There's no leg fractures. There's no typical like pedestrian vehicle trauma. How fast could she have been going in a raging blizzard in a driveway? Like how fast could she possibly have backed over him? And then he had the arm wounds that looked like scratches or bites. And there's no real significant damage to the vehicle. Obviously, there was the broken taillight, but there wasn't really like dented anything. There wasn't broken windows. There wasn't the types of things that would kill someone. There was a Google search on Jennifer McCabe's phone. Jennifer McCabe was one of the people at the house where they were. Not Karen Reed. Someone at the house at 2:27 a.m. texts hours before a body dies in the cold or something. How long does it take for a body to die in the cold? Well, that's pretty compelling. It seems to indicate somebody in the house around 2:30 in the morning might have been wondering if the guy outside laying in the ground is dead. Or they discovered him and they think, oh my gosh, he's been dead. How long has he been dead? And then there, of course, you get this questionable investigation. And that's what we'll talk about tonight. The lead trooper, Michael Proctor, had personal connections, and he sent a series of derogatory texts about Karen Reed. He called her the C word. He called her a whack job. He said he hoped she offed herself. And as we'll find out today, it's a whole lot worse than that. And then there's the evidence handling at the scene. They used a leaf blower to kind of clean up the scene. And then they did not preserve all of the footage. They did not interview everybody they should have interviewed. They delayed a lot of interviews. There were these weird ties between the family and some of the witnesses and the investigators. And it was just the defense did a pretty good job of saying, hey, your case looks pretty cut and dry until we start examining it, until we put on our case. And that's kind of how I look at the Tyler Robinson case. If you just hear from the prosecution on any given case, no defendant has a chance because their job is to paint a picture to make the person look guilty. That's their job. That's what they're hired to do. So she had a trial. Her first trial was April 2024. It was weeks of testimony. There were autopsy photos. They had, again, like I said, expert clashes. There were reconstructions. There was forensic evidence. And the jury ultimately couldn't come to a decision. They were deadlocked. And so the judge finally, after a few days, declares a mistrial, even though some jurors, when they were interviewed later, said they were leaning towards acquittal on most of the major charges. So a year later, they retry it. Again, April 2025 instead of April 2024. The second trial starts April 2025. And it's 8 weeks long, 30 total days of evidence. And we ended up with some new details on vehicle data, witness timeline, some of the expert analysis. And when they got to the closing arguments, the prosecution's view of intentional but not premeditated murder, I think, confused the jury a little bit, if I'm being honest. But the defense just said, hey, look at this investigation. This has to be reasonable doubt. There's no way you could possibly conclude this person, beyond a reasonable doubt, committed this. And so the jury deliberates, I think, 20 or 21 hours over 4 days, and they acquitted her on all the major charges, the second-degree murder, the manslaughter, but they did get her on operating a vehicle under the influence. And the judge sentenced her to a year of probation. That's a pretty standard sentence in Massachusetts for a first DUI offense. But the verdict reflected really deep skepticism about the prosecution's narrative. And sadly, no one else has ever been charged. And this is one of the sad things that happens when the prosecution keys in on one person, doesn't really investigate any other possible outcome. If that person gets acquitted, then the crime likely goes unsolved, often goes unsolved. It underscores challenges in these high-stakes cases involving law enforcement. You have trust problems with the investigation. There's interpretations about complex forensic evidence. There's, frankly, public opinion. Karen Read case was very widely covered by social media and traditional media. And that amplified media, the online discourse, it weighs in on the case. It just does. And of course, there's confirmation bias, evidence integrity. I mean, there's a whole list of problems. But for Karen Read, the second trial meant vindication, at least on the gravest accusations. Unfortunately, though, like I said, for the loved ones, it leaves really painful questions about how the night turned so fatal. And I think, sadly, they'll probably never know. And so Karen Read, this morning or yesterday, I can't remember which, files a complaint against the Minnesota State Police and the Canton Police Department. And when she filed the complaint, I'll show you the complaint. When she filed the complaint, she included in the complaint about 100 and something pages of some of the most horrific text messages you'll ever read. I'll leave them small, but we'll go through this just so you can see the structure of it. I encourage you to read this. It reads like Blake Neff wrote it. The text messages, not the complaint. As you go through here, you'll see she's saying, hey, this not guilty verdict was not the end of this. Her life is still very much traumatized. And there's this distressing narrative. And the Massachusetts State Police, the Canton Police Department now have to answer for what went wrong. I just want to do my best to sort of give you an idea of the types of text messages these people were sending. This is Michael Proctor. There's primarily two people in here, Michael Proctor and Sean Good. So Michael Proctor tells Good about a multi-car accident in Canton right there. And he says, actually, take your time. I saw an N-word was involved. So I wouldn't rush if you're working. Let them die. Then he says, my new VP is a giant malignant C-word. I pray to heavens that some effed up insect in the Amazon crawls up her personal private parts, hatches eggs, and the litter kills her, eating her from the inside out. I mean, it is horrific. These are some of the easy ones to stomach. Biggest C word. He calls her something that starts with S and rhymes with hut. He talks about trying to do particular acts with his girlfriend, and she's not into it, so he waits till she falls asleep and tries to assault her. And these are the easy ones. These like I said, these are not the hard ones to read. Because he goes on to talk about Karen Read in particular. And they call her the C word. They call her crazy. They say all kinds of ridiculous things about her. And then they indicate they have her phone as part of the investigation. Apparently in Massachusetts, they take cell phones for investigations. They don't do that in Utah. Apparently they let everybody run off with their own cell phones. At least the ones that don't get broken, like Andrew Colvitz. Everybody gets to take their own cell phone home in Utah. But in Massachusetts, at least they collect them and look at them for evidence. And they were searching her cell phone to see if she took intimate pictures of herself. That's what he was texting about. He was looking for intimate pictures of this woman. God knows what he planned to do with them. One of them was fired pretty immediately. And the other one resigned a couple of days ago when they finally realized the lawsuit was coming and it was all coming out. Everyone was going to find out what kind of a dirtbag this guy is. Again, I say allegedly on all this. I don't know that this is all. I mean, I'm just taking her at her word that these things are true. But Michael Proctor was fired by the Massachusetts State Police back in March when his text messages were discovered for unsatisfactory performance and derogatory, sexist, and unprofessional texts about Karen Reed. He appealed, believe it or not, and he dropped the appeal when they dropped more texts on him. He was suspended from his post certification, Peace Officer Standards Training certification, meaning he can never be employed as a law enforcement officer. And there's no state that would allow him to work as a law enforcement officer. Sean Good was much more shameless. Sean Good stayed employed until a couple of days ago. He was a longtime friend of Proctor, the guy who resigned back in March of 2025. He was placed on paid leave in late 2025, but he didn't resign until a couple of days ago. And it was when they realized the lawsuit was coming and all this stuff was going to be made public. Obviously, they will do their own investigation at the Post Commission, the Peace Officer Standards Training Commission, but he is no longer employed by the police department. Now, you contrast that with Blake Neff. I mean, these texts are not that different from what he texted, believe it or not. I breezed over them because this is a family show and I'm just giving you a hint of what they say. But Blake Neff, I'll show you some of the things he said. This guy sits on a set next to Charlie Kirk's chair, next to a picture of Charlie Kirk. Top writer resigns from Fox News after secretly posting racist and sexist remarks in an online forum. Just this week, the writer responded to a thread started by another user in 2018 with the subject line, "Would you let a jet black Congo N-word do LASIK eye surgery on you for 50% off?" Blake Neff wrote, "I wouldn't get LASIK from an Asian for free, so no." Subject line was not censored on the forum. CNN censored it here. On June 5th, Blake Neff wrote, "Black dudes staying inside playing Call of Duty is probably one of the biggest factors in keeping crime down." June 24th, he commented honestly, giving how tired black people always claim to be. Maybe the real crisis is their lack of sleep. He wrote, "The only people who care about changing the name of NFL's Washington Redskins are white libs and their university-educated pets." He maintained a lengthy thread in which he has derided a woman and posted information about her dating life, inviting other users to mock her and invade her privacy. Been in times of overlap between some material he posted or saw on the forum and Tucker Carlson's show. They contacted him for comment Thursday night. There was a memo sent to employees at Fox News that condemned his horrific, racist, misogynistic, and homophobic behavior. So Fox News won't tolerate it. Charlie Kirk show, amen. That's the kind of stuff they're looking for. Can we get more misogynism, horrific racism, homophobia, which is ironic working at TPUSA? Neff's abhorrent conduct on the forum was never divulged to the show or network until Friday, at which point we swiftly accepted his resignation. Neff worked there for nearly 4 years. He once famously said, "Anything Tucker Carlson is reading off the teleprompter, the first draft was written by me." He also acknowledged the show's influence, telling a magazine, "We're very aware that we do have the power to sway the conversation, so we try to use it responsibly." That, again, I think they took it kind of easy on him too. So the Karen Reed case is actually Blake Neff's worst nightmare. Because what ends up happening is it raises the contrast between how normal, productive organizations handle situations like this as opposed to the Charlie Kirk show, TPUSA. That's what happens. They're shameless. They're shameless. They know this guy, but he holds the right position on our greatest ally. He's willing to attack Candace Owens. He's a team player. He'll do anything you want. He'll do anything you want. He's like a prostitute. He's for hire. You pay me money, I'll do whatever you want. That's the Blake Neff way, in my opinion, allegedly. Allegedly. So that situation still persists. That situation still persists. Then we get a situation, again, adjacent to this entire investigation, adjacent to the Charlie Kirk takedown on September 10th. I've played this now a few times because each day I discover more lies. Each day I discover more lies. Let me say this right now. Jack Hibbs, famous preacher, liar. He is not an honest person. We've now come down to like 5 different stories this guy's told that aren't true. I'm going to go back to one and show you yet another version of this. And I want to play it in order because I want you to see just how deeply dishonest these people are. Here's Frank Turek, also noted confirmed liar on the left. He's the guy who said he was on FaceTime for 7 hours, allegedly, that his battery didn't die. Also said he was on FaceTime at the event when it was clear he was not, or it didn't look like he was. So he's a dishonest person. Over here on the right is Jack Hibbs, may or may not be wearing a rug. That's irrelevant to whether or not he's honest. I want to play this brief clip because he's going to talk about the order in which he got phone calls, and I'm going to show you something he said the day after the event about the order he received phone calls. Just trust me, everything you're about to hear is a lie.
And then so I went about my morning, not long, and I'm trying to remember the sequence of things. I either got the first call from you or from Mikey. It was one or the other. It was very, very close. I do believe you were the first one.
That was after we got to the hospital.
Okay, then I got the first call from Mikey.
Because I was in the emergency room after we got Charlie there.
I remember.
I called you.
I remember what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mikey called, and he said, Jack, get everyone in the world praying.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much blood.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much. And he was beside himself,
mm-hmm.
as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Man, in that moment when I got that, I didn't believe it.
In that moment when I got that, I didn't believe it. When I got that, let me just give you more total clarity as to what he's saying. When Mikey called him first, he didn't believe it. Mikey called him first. He couldn't remember. It was either you or it was Mikey. And Frank says, no, Jack, it was Mikey because I didn't call you until later after I was at the hospital. We also know that's now not true because he said he was on FaceTime the whole time and had changed clothes. And if you missed that, last couple shows will be right up your alley. So we know neither one of them are telling the truth right now. It raises the issue. What is it about the phone calls? You know, Mikey lied about the phone calls. Frank lying about the phone calls. Jack Hibbs lying about the phone calls. Andrew's saying his phone broke and he had to throw his phone away. What is it about the phone that they're hiding? We can get to that later. What we can do right now is explain that it's just absolutely not true. It's just absolutely not true because I'm going to take you back in time to a Fox News article. A Fox News article quoting the guy we just heard from, who said he got his first call from Mikey and he didn't believe it. I got my first call from Mikey and I didn't believe it. Headline from Fox News. Dateline September 11, the following day. Pastor recalls last moments with Charlie Kirk, American martyr. Jack Hibbs spoke to TPUSA founder just hours before he was shot dead at Utah Valley University. Jack Hibbs, close friend of Charlie Kirk, told Fox News Digital he was in disbelief when he heard the conservative firebrand had been assassinated after having spoken to him just hours earlier. My initial thoughts, of course, like everyone else, what is going on in our country? Then quickly, I think my second thought is Charlie was obviously a young man, not only of profound intellect, but he had great faith in Jesus. And then it talks about the story there. Hibbs and Kirk have collaborated over the last 5 years on their podcast shows and culture events. Kirk invited several times over the year to speak at Jack Hibbs' church. Just hours before Kirk kicked off the American Comeback Tour, where he planned to travel across the U.S. to college campuses, invite liberal students to debate, and ask him questions publicly, Hibbs reached out asking if he could get his brother entry into the Utah event. Charlie was so kind and generous to let this stranger have a front row seat. And I know that Charlie was loving on me by loving on my brother, and that's just who he was. So up to this point, this is kind of consistent. Now, look at this next paragraph with me. Let me make it a little bigger for you. Let me change the window size here so you can see it plain as day, because this is important. My brother sent me pictures of him and Charlie. My brother being Butch Hibbs, not Mikey McCoy, not Frank Turek. My brother, Butch Hibbs, sent me pictures of him, Butch Hibbs, and Charlie Kirk. My brother sent me pictures of him and Charlie standing together before the event started, and everything looked great. And then my brother called me immediately during the shooting. I could hear people screaming and running, and my brother was about 25 to 35 feet away from Charlie. Do I have to go back and play the podcast again? Do I have to go back and play the podcast again, where he is having trouble remembering whether it was Frank or whether it was Mikey who called him first? And then when he figured out it was Mikey, he didn't believe it when he first heard about it from Mikey. I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand for the life of me how, having gotten a call from your brother, one of the most tragic events in American political history, top 10, you have this to say when you heard from your brother while it was still going on and people were running and screaming in the background.
And then so I went about my morning, not long, and I'm trying to remember the sequence of things. I either got the first call from you or from Mikey.
Not true. Not true. You did not get the first call from him or Mikey. Not according to Fox News article the day after. You got the first call from your brother.
It was one or the other. It was very, very close. I do believe you were the first one.
That was after we got to the hospital.
Okay, then I got the first call from Mikey.
Because I was in the emergency room after we got Charlie there.
I remember.
I called you.
I remember what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mikey called, and he said, Jack, get everyone in the world praying.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much blood.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much. And he was beside himself,
Mm-hmm.
as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Man, in that moment when I got that, I didn't believe it.
Well, isn't that curious? Because in this moment, I don't believe you. I think you guys are dishonest. I think everybody involved in this case, from TPUSA, Charlie Kirk adjacent, to a person, it seems like they've all been caught in lie after lie after lie. And then they come out and they explain it and I didn't really know. Here's the sensible explanation for this. Gary, are you ready? I got to change gears. I put up with his crap for a long time. I'll show you what he put up today, or what he commented on today, which was, I think, out of bounds. I'm willing to leave these people alone for the most part. This is Gary from Paramount Impractical. The guy who initially did not believe a 30-06 possibly could have done the damage we saw to Charlie Kirk until he got a giant defense contract. And then all of a sudden the 30-06 made perfect sense. I mean, perfect sense. It was wild. I'm sure they were unrelated. He told us they were. Oh, that old little small contract. Well, it's the biggest one you've gotten by like 4,000%, but whatever. I think it's only the second one I think he'd ever gotten, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there, because today Gary puts this up and I just snapped. I'd had enough of it. Glad to see the mask slipping on Baron Conman Coleman. Oh, I'm a con man, guys. I'm a con man. I talk for about 20 hours a week on here, day in and day out. You guys, I take Q&A from just about anybody who chimes in, but I'm a con man. I don't block anybody really, but I'm the con man. A lying grifter who uses his lawyer credentials. I like how he put scare quotes around lawyers. I've been licensed in 3 states for 20 years. To build trust and credibility while spinning slick, compelling falsehoods. I'm willing to correct anything anybody thinks is false. Tell me what you think is wrong. I'll be happy to correct it. But he's quoting this, I don't even know who this guy is. I don't hide behind any names like this online. I just tell you who I am. My name's Baron Coleman. I live here in Middle Tennessee. You have a P.O. box. You can mail me stuff. I don't hide behind JTC 53, whatever that means. I don't know who this Baron Coleman guy is. Well, Google my name, sir. It's all over the place. You can learn all about me. But he is another Candace Owens simp. Guy's built a career around attacking Erica Kirk, attacking TPUSA, and promoting woke Reich talking points. He claims to be a attorney. Sir, that's an attorney. An attorney. If we're going to use the indefinite article a or an, let's use it appropriately. It's an when it precedes a noun that starts with a vowel. He magically appears on the scene promoting the same BS lies and fake theories about Erica Kirk. He's another grifter trying to make a name for himself to cash in off the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories and Will Wright talking point. I don't know what that means. What father dedicates his life to attacking a widow? This guy's a fraud. And then he posts this, frankly, greatest hits. I mean, I actually really like this. This is a great little set of pretty solid quotes of mine. I mean, I wish he'd have kept going. This is great stuff. But apparently he doesn't like it. Now, here's what got me going. Here's why I decided to unleash on Gary, because he quoted this. He quote tweeted this. Side note, his new thing is that Charlie Kirk's kids are not their kids. That is BS. I have said time and time again, I'm pretty sure they're Charlie's kids, and I'm 100% sure they're hers. I have pictures of her in the OB or in the operating room. I have pictures they don't have that aren't even public of them holding their kids in the hospital. I'm pretty confident they're his kids. So who's lying? I have said this time and time again. He claims that his pictures, Charlie. I don't know what that means either. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a pedophile. Secretly getting pictures of other people's infant children, it's also illegal. Is Baron a pedophile? All right. I've had enough. The answer is no, I've not. The answer is TPUSA insiders despise Erica Kirk and send me stuff. That's the answer. I don't ask for it. I don't ask for this stuff. They send it to me. But since you want to talk the P word, I want to introduce you to Jenn, the producer. Here is her LinkedIn page. Where'd it go? Here it is. Jenn, the producer. The producer at the Dangerous Liberty podcast. Oh, it is dangerous indeed. Dangerous tonight. I'll tell you that. We're going to have some danger. Here is Jenn, the producer's LinkedIn page. See her there with a gun in her hand looking big and bad? We'll talk about that. She's the producer at Dangerous Liberty podcast, Paramount Tactical. Claims to be in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. Has not always been there. Accomplished philanthropist. I heard she's broke and has been broke for a very long time, but that's neither here nor there. I guess you don't have to be rich. A passion for veterans, intelligence community members, and first responders. Highly skilled in crisis communications. You're going to need that skill tonight, Jenn. Intelligence, operational planning, journalism, social marketing, corporate communications, DV survivor, and keynote speaker. I'd love to get a hold of some of those keynote speeches. When you go to her LinkedIn page, there's an images section of her LinkedIn page. Flipping through the images, we noticed a few things that were really weird. For example, here is her images page. Nothing too weird there. But I thought, whose lap is she sitting on? That's kind of a weird picture. Who is that? Oh, it's a guy who passed. What can I say? You were my friend and helped me more than you know. Well, that was 4 years ago, so we're talking like 2022. Okay, I'm getting some timeline here, getting a timeline down. Who is this guy from 2022? You were my friend and helped me more than you know. Thank you for believing in me. I'm crushed. Cracking the foobar tonight. I will miss you more than you know. So he sounds like he's passed. But I don't know who he is. She's all laid up on him. He was a friend. He helped her. So I'm just clicking around on the images here. It's apparently that guy there. There's her hanging out of her dress. And then I get to this picture and I look down and I see his name. Dick Marcinko. Interesting. Who's Dick Marcinko? That name sounds familiar. Where have I seen that name before? Oh, that's right. In the files. In the Einstein files. There's a page, or there are a lot of pages dedicated to Dick Marcinko. Goes by Richard Marcinko. This is lead forwarded to Legat, Mexico City, Mexico. Synopsis. This lead was generated to follow up on information that a USC Richard Marcinko, United States citizen, is in custody in Mexico regarding a child S-ring investigation by the Mexican authorities that is purported to include video evidence held by Mexican law enforcement officials of this guy of Files fame engaging in acts with minors. Minors were reported as possible United States citizens. That's interesting. That's the guy That's the guy who was your friend who helped you? More than we know? More than he knows? He's the one who believed in you? And you're crushed at his passing? That's the guy? Same name. It's a rare name, admittedly. I do hold out the possibility it's another Richard Marcinko who's since passed away, because this guy's passed away. And I hold out the possibility that it's wrong, that it's not right. But there he is again. There she is again. And notice this thing she's wearing here. This is military people wear this. Military people wear this. And so that was a little interesting. So I thought, surely that's it. Surely there's nothing else. Surely there's just absolutely nothing else. Well, no, there is. We have more files information here. Young girl here in Mexico is the subject line. She's identified Ghislaine Imwell as a woman who came to Richard Blank home in Mexico many times in 2010 and 2011 with Nancy to set up trips for her when she was 10 or 11 years old. We know of death threats against her because of testimony she gave in 2018 against Kelly, Biden, and Wayne in the abuse case in Mexico. Right now, we have her in a safe location. We want to help you guys, but also need to protect her, her son, and her guardian. That's not good. That's not good. It's this guy that she's sitting in the lap of. Allegedly, the guy she's sitting in the lap of. Then we have this email here. We've had another serious incident since an American shot the trial judge in our child transportation case here. He and I both think the latest incident is tied to the fact that we have reached out to your team. Who on your team knows we are talking to you? Anyone assigned from the NSA, CIA, or U.S. State Department? Please understand people's lives here are in jeopardy. Interesting. So again, this was looking into that guy. But he's helped her more than you know. Well, surely that's all there is on this woman. She sounds like a gem other than that. She sounds like a real peach of a human being. Until you get to a message board, a forum, if you will. This is her first and last name. We have redacted a lot of the personal information here. She used to go by G.I. Jenn. G.I. Jenn. Keep in mind, she never served in the military. That we can figure it out. She never served in the military that we can figure out. Nevertheless, she goes by G.I. Jenn, which is a little weird. A little weird. Someone said the delay was off, so I'm trying to add a little delay there. A few months ago, this comes from a trusted source. Now, I'm just reading from a message board. I can vouch for none of this, but I can tell you this message board message still exists, and it's talking about someone who used to go by G.I. Jenn of the Warrior Talk Radio Network, and we believe that is Jenn, the producer, who works for Blinker, Gary. A few months ago, there was a domestic incident involving this guy, whose name we've redacted, and Jenn, whose last name we've redacted, a.k.a. G.I. Jenn of Warrior Talk Radio. Jenn is not a veteran, but she comes from a military family. She's created a lifestyle and source of income within the military and veteran community. Oh, that's consistent with her leeching off of Gary Blinker, a veteran, an actual veteran, a man who actually put his life on the line. Unlike her, who just leeches off people like Gary, who actually put his life on the line. She attaches herself to veterans like Gary. And when the relationship ends, Gary, this is the warning. When the relationship ends, she attempts to destroy them. She has mistakenly fooled herself into thinking she is more relevant than she truly is, and is not above using high-profile people in the community to promote her own agenda. She will use pictures of these people in a manner to promote her show and her relevancy in the community. She often does this without asking for permission to use the pictures and without the consent of their implied endorsement of her. Again, this is all allegedly. This is from a message board, but it was very detailed. Recently, when she and first name ended their relationship, she lied about him being suicidal. People rushed to his house, apparently in an attempt to embarrass him. The police had to remove her from the property. She then attempted to put a hit on him, allegedly, according to this guy, which caused him to place around-the-clock security at his home, where his children live. The police are investigating this murder-for-hire plot, again, according to this guy, not me. Her next move was to make false reports to the FBI, ATF, and DHS. She sent these agencies after that guy and his friends at the place where they worked, alleging they were smuggling arms and involved in illegal gun running. These accusations were found to be untrue. No charges were filed. She attempted to have another veteran deported via DHS, but this too was unsuccessful. These government agencies are aware that her reports were false, and we're not sure at this time what will be done about these false reports. She has a restraining order against her in Texas at this time. For someone who claims to be a veteran advocate, filing false reports against veterans and veteran-owned businesses is a rather unique way of showing your support. The truth is, Jenn is not a true veteran advocate. She is a user and abuser. That's according to this guy, allegedly, in his opinion. She clings to people in the community who she thinks will help her promote herself and her radio show. Gary, does this sound familiar to you? Gary, does this sound familiar? Gary, do you got a tingling going through your body right now? You realize if you try to end this relationship, it might not end well for you. She's lost lots of supporters and advertisers recently and is now reaching out to numerous high-profile people in an effort to regain a foothold in the community. She depends on Warrior Talk Radio for her financial situation, and she chases guests that blank has already had on either his or her show. She always paints herself as a victim in each of these scenarios. And there's another name here that's been blotted out, has no association with Jenn or Warrior Talk Radio. We do not condone her actions within the community and believe that everyone should make an informed decision with regard to showing her or Warrior Talk Radio any support. There are many in this group who are connected to Jenn and Warrior Talk Radio via Facebook We cannot tell you who to be friends with, but make your own decisions about Jenn and do so with knowledge of what she has done recently within our community. She does not care who she hurts in her quest to protect her image and reputation within military circles. For her to be so infatuated with the military, one would think she would have signed the dotted line and actually served, but she did not. She's very smart and manipulative, but be advised and on guard in your dealings with her. And we did not quote the comments that followed it up. Again, I can't vouch for the veracity of any of that, but I can say that's been there for 10 years. Gary, it sounds like you're in grave danger, brother. Gary, it sounds like you may not have vetted your employees very well. I'm all for the playful banter, Gary. I have a good time with it. If you want to try to promote your show off the back of this program, I'm down with it, Gary. You can poke your little things. You can say I lost defamation cases that are still ongoing and absolutely have not been lost. I will remind you that I sued the SPLC 7 years ago while everybody else was sitting around wringing their hands wondering what to do about it. You can act like I'm a Johnny-come-lately, but I've been around a while. I've been in this game a long time, Gary. I've been in this game a long time, and I've been on the right side of all of this a long time. And I'm on the right side of this one, too. I'm on the right side of this one, too. And if this is who you want to associate with, if this is true, if this is who you want to associate with, that's your business. But now we know. Now we know whose lap she sits in. Now we know who she looks up to as a friend and mentor, whatever she called him. You want to know what Warrior Talk Radio was? This was their website back in the day. G.I. Jenn Griff, our host, is a resident military pinup. It sounds like she's trying to make people think she's in the military. G.I. Jenn? That's stolen valor, guys. That's stolen valor. I'm curious what someone like Nate Valhalla, frankly, Gary, some of these military bros, some of these vet bros on the Vet Bro podcasting circuit, I'm curious what their take is on this. Is this basically stolen valor? Are you trying to promote yourself as if you were in the military and you weren't? Calling yourself G.I. Jenn. If I called myself G.I. Baron, you would think I was a G.I. in the military. If I called myself a resident military pinup, I hope you would die laughing at the cringiness of it. Especially when you're not that hot, Jenn. No one's pinning you up anywhere. I can assure you that. I don't care what kind of filter you put on yourself. Don't let her petite stature and sweet voice fool you, sir, ma'am, whatever you are. We've heard. It's neither sweet nor petite. Mess with her warriors, and she will fly verbal strafing runs on you quicker than an MH-06 little bird. Oh, she's stealing all the military lingo too, guys. Deployed to hostile areas. Guys, that is military language. She's a fraud. That is military language. That's the type of things you say about military people. He was deployed to a hostile area. She battles those who would do our veterans harm. Yeah, it sounds like, at least in that message board post, it sounds like you actually battle the veterans themselves. It sounds like you actually go after the vets who are trying to separate themselves from you once they realize the level of crazy they've dealt with. Apparently, they didn't look at this picture. Her life is dedicated to giving real-time sit reps on veterans issues. She's on daily overwatch for our troops and provides comms for our warfighters. You understand all this language that she's stealing here to portray herself as something she is not? G.I. Jenn Griff is the daughter, sister, best friend, niece, granddaughter, grandniece, and so on of veterans, tracing her family history to the American Revolution. She grew up in the military community and has seen firsthand these struggles our veterans go through. It's her mission in life to bridge this gap between military and civilian worlds through entertainment and education. Warrior Talk Radio was her brainchild and passion. Provides a platform for our warriors to speak about important issues important to them, yada, yada, yada. Oh, she also sits on the board of Chambers for Hope and Stop the 22 a Day. I'm not so sure these organizations exist. If they do, they're so small, they should not be claimed as credits. Again, this is the type of fraud we see with everyday heroes like you. You create a nonprofit, or you get attached to a nonprofit that is so small that it has no impact, it does nothing, but then you use that to build your resume and make people think you're awesome. Jenn also works with several QRF teams that run intervention teams for veterans in crisis. Recently filmed a television pilot to promote women who shoot. Featured in a video to promote immersion therapy for veterans and with post-traumatic stress and military simulation. And the trailer for Where Heaven and Hell Collide, a major motion picture highlighting the lives of our combat warriors. You know what this sounds like? Sounds like a military bro version of Erica. You're not really an actress, but you got some actress credits because you like showed up in something shot with a home movie camera. But yeah, you do you, Gary. You do you. This is your thing. This is what you want to do, then you do you. I have to mute this because it has a bed behind it, but I want to show you G.I. Jenn in action. Cheesy little.
This is G.I. Jenn with Warrior Talk Radio, and I am here with Shannon McCann-Rich, and we're getting ready to do the short choke.
All right, so Jenn's going to attempt the short choke on Shannon McCann. All right.
Find you someone who looks at you the way she looks at that guy with the mohawk. Look at that. Look at those eyes. I mean, that's several seconds of crazy.
Jenn's going to attempt the short choke on Shannon.
She even took a breath. Go back. I didn't catch that the first time. She looks and then goes, I think that's where Gary learned to swallow all the air.
It's going to attempt a short choke on Shannon McCann. All right, here we go. So first opportunity, put your right hand around my neck, lock your hands together, and squeeze. Awesome. Good job.
Oh, she's so strong, boys. She's a good vet girl. Oh, she's not a vet. My bad.
Okay, you could have totally kicked my ass.
Let's see if you do it this way and put your arm around, like how everybody else teaches you to do it. Like grab your biceps with this hand.
Grab this.
Yeah, and then you put this arm here. Now that's how a lot of people teach it. Let's see if I come here.
Tattoo.
I can break the arm.
Tattoo, Brandon,
Oh,
tattoo.
sorry. So I can break the arm that way. So
Yeah.
I never teach that rear choke
Okay.
submission.
So it's always.
That's a little short choke.
Okay,
Very
cool.
hard to defend.
So what if, just out of curiosity, if I were the girl and somebody came up to me, what would I do?
Just out of curiosity, if you put your big bulky biceps around me and sort of choked me a little bit, what would that be like? Just out of total curiosity, if you just sort of choked me a little bit, what would that be like?
Do to like.
From here,
Could you squeeze a little harder, please?
Yeah.
you would take this hand, push it here, like so you can get some air.
Okay.
You're gonna put this foot behind me. No, behind me. Yes. Now this hand, push my elbow straight up.
This one?
Yeah, push it straight up. Oh, look at that.
Oh, she's such a gangster. She's such a gangster. I see why she put that on the internet. I see why she put that one on the internet. You go, G.I. Jenn. You go. You go. All right. There's a little language warning here, but I think it just gives you an idea of the class of individual we're dealing with. There's only 16 seconds, and I think there's only one or two words, and they're not terrible.
All right, let me get my shit together here.
That's her wearing the military regalia again when she is not, in fact, in the military.
Hi, I'm G.I. Jenn with Warrior Talk Radio. I am a network owner, a radio host, a businesswoman, and a mother. I'm also a proud Second Amendment supporter. I am empowered, and I am the face of the future.
She's empowered in the face of the future. And the future's apparently terrifying. I mean, it's terrifying. She's the face of the future. She's empowered, and she's the face of the future. Oh, no. Tell me it ain't so, Jenn. I don't want you to be the face of the future. I'm terrified of the face of the future. Terrified of the face of the future. Last little piece here. This is her just grifting generally. I mean, just accept it for what it is. You'll get an idea for the type of person Gary employs.
Hi, I'm GI Jenn with Warrior Talk Radio.
Oh, hold on. I got to kill that bed. So you're not able to hear it, but you can read it. She's just here grifting and talking about all the great stuff she does. So Milsim, she got to put all those words. So look, she gets all dressed up. She gets all dressed up because she doesn't want to actually join the military. She just wants to play like she was in the military. She wants to use all the military jargon so everyone thinks she was in the military. But I can't stop going back to this because it just tells me so much about who this woman really is and what her grift maybe really is. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate the opportunity to finally dig in a little bit. Appreciate the opportunity to finally dig in just a hair, Jen. Just a hair. So again, Gary, I enjoy the give and take. I enjoy the fun little pokes and prods. It's all fun and games to me. I have a good time with it. Get your people under control, though, honestly. Get them under control just a little bit. If you want to hire somebody who's fawning all over somebody in the files, who's being held in Mexico, allegedly, related to a child investigation, if that's who you want on the payroll, that's your business. I mean, I'm not going to tell you who to hire or not hire. It's up to you. But if you're going to hire people like that, then don't quote tweet people that call me bad names about kids. I'm not in the files. I've never sat on the lap of anyone in the files. I never have. I've never cosplayed as a military man. I don't wear their clothing. It's the closest you're going to get. And the only reason I own it is because, frankly, it makes my eyes look amazing. I don't have to use the filter, Jen. My eyes are naturally green. I don't have to use that weird, creepy filter you use. So, Gary, let's keep it fun. Let's keep it light. Let's have a good time with it. Let's have a good time with it. Or, I guess, you can be like the Charlie Kirk show and continue having, well, I'll show you here, continue having Blake Neff on your thing here so that you get 1.7 thousand views because Blake Neff is on your show. And it's called the Charlie Kirk show, and Charlie Kirk isn't on your show. He used to be like a shadow in the background. He's not even that anymore. I don't know who's told them these crazy, like overly busy AI thumbnails were the answer, but they're not. They're not. But that's the effect people like Blake Neff have on you. So sorry I had to be a little biting tonight, but I'm irritated with these people. I'm so irritated with these people who are destroying the legacy of conservatism, frankly. They are. They're destroying the legacy of conservatism. You know, there's a guy running in South Carolina, last name Lynch. He's running against Lindsey Graham. Mark Lynch. He's running against Lindsey Graham. Charlie Kirk famously went to South Carolina. There's a picture of him here. Charlie Kirk famously went to South Carolina and said, "You guys need a new senator." And he said, "We've got to get rid of Lindsey Graham." Well, somebody steps up to the plate. They answer Charlie's call. Guy named Mark Lynch. And then Charlie dies. Well, Lindsey Graham's a noted warmonger, obsessed with our greatest ally, puts South Carolina pretty much last, I think, about everything he does. And so you would expect to honor Charlie's legacy, to honor Charlie's memory, they would come in behind and support Mark Lynch. They would campaign at the very least against Lindsey Graham. You'd be wrong. Because just like everything else that TPUSA does under TPUSA 2.0, not to be morbid, but her husband's dead. And everything you were working on with Charlie before. Not that it's not important, but things have changed. You remember that speech? You remember the speech she gave? But after she was done laughing at the emojis 5 days after Charlie died, she had to take to the Zoom call to tell people that no longer was this Charlie's organization. It was now hers, and things are going to be different. New sheriff in town. Apparently, the new sheriff loves Lindsey Graham because they're not out there campaigning for Mark Lynch. They're not out there trying to get Mark Lynch elected. They like Lindsey Graham. They like a guy who's bloodthirsty, who wants to start foreign wars, and who wanders around Disneyland with a bubble wand. That's what they like. That's who they want in the United States Senate. That's TPUSA. That's Tyler Boyer, because he runs TP Action. He could be out there campaigning for Mark Lynch. He's not. He could be campaigning against Lindsey Graham. He's not. It could be Blake Neff. It could be Andrew Colvett. They could be on the Charlie Kirk show telling people you should support Mark Lynch, or at the very least, you should not support Lindsey Graham. Don't vote for him. But they're not doing that. I encourage people, if you're in South Carolina, you should vote for this guy. At the very least, don't vote for Lindsey Graham. If you don't know this guy, you don't want to vote for him, that's fine. But I think you should. If you don't have any opinion on either one of them, honor Charlie. Get rid of Lindsey. Get rid of Lindsey Graham. It's shameful to me that people like Rob McCoy from TPUSA Faith are on the sidelines. They're nowhere to be found. I'm pretty sure Rob told Charlie he would support an opponent of Lindsey Graham. And then Charlie dies, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to support this guy anymore. My guess is it's because he's not sold out his soul to our greatest ally. Mark Lynch would be more in the mold of Thomas Massey and not Lindsey Graham. And because of that, they don't necessarily want to support him. I saw some recent polling that had Lindsey Graham well under 50%. It was like 46%. And so he's vulnerable. He's like a 200-year incumbent. He was a young gay man when he went into the office. Now he's an old gay man, Lindsey Graham. He was just a young, probably back when being gay wasn't cool and he had to be in the closet. So he's been around a long time. He's been around a long time. His rainbow flag is faded. But apparently he still likes kids, and he goes to Disneyland with the bubble wand, a bubble wand. Lindsey Graham. Apparently by himself, wandering around children with a bubble wand. And that's who these people apparently are supporting. So if you're in South Carolina, I'm not campaigning for this guy. I don't know anything. I don't know much about him. I've looked into him enough to say that I would probably vote for him if I lived in South Carolina. But I know I would not vote for Lindsey Graham. And if you don't know what you're going to do, throw him a vote. See what happens. He can't be worse than Lindsey. He cannot be worse than Lindsey. I can assure you of that. So it's not an endorsement. It's just a vote against Lindsey. Vote for this guy. Vote against Lindsey. Vote for that guy. All right. So I've had enough fun tonight assaulting these people. I'm bitter. I'm angry. The PDF comment on X really bothered me, because if you're going to hide behind an anonymous account and you're going to make it your life's mission to apparently assault everyone who has a different opinion on a criminal case and what evidence looks like, then I'm going to unleash a little bit. I'm going to unleash a little bit. If you haven't liked the show, don't like the show. But if you have liked the show, click the like button. If you are not a subscriber, subscribe. If you think you're a subscriber, go ahead and check. I get a lot of comments every night of people who followed up on that. They went to check if they were a subscriber. They at one time were a subscriber or believed they were a subscriber. And then they learned they were in fact unsubscribed, whether through mistake or otherwise, or they just never had subscribed. And then they go and hit the subscribe button. So hit the subscribe button. While you're there, you might as well click notifications, click all. There's a member page if you want to join that. I've got a guest lined up for next week now as well. I still don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I may end up doing a regular show. There's a show Daisy and I put together for today that just not ready yet. I think it's pretty explosive, but it's just not ready. The big explosive show I keep teasing, we're at the mercy of some lawyers in Washington, D.C. who are refusing to give us the documents that we have a right to see. We requested a batch of documents. I'm confident they're going to be good documents when we get them because of how much they're fighting us. We've been asking for these for months. They have missed every deadline, every self-imposed deadline, every statutory deadline. They've missed every single deadline that requires them to give us these documents. They're refusing to. And I think they'll be really, really good when we get a hold of them. But in the meantime, all I can do is tell you that, like, we were supposed to have them in our hands weeks ago. And then last week or 2 weeks ago, they told us, oh, tomorrow. And then every day they keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. So when we get those, you'll be the first to know. We'll get that show out very quickly. So we do have plenty of material. So we may end up doing a show tomorrow. Haven't decided on that yet. If not, may end up taking the day off. But yeah, like the show, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will roll through some of your comments. Claiming number one American in Ireland fan. Well, I don't know how many Americans is that a place Americans go? You always hear them fleeing to like New Zealand. Ireland's beautiful. Northern Louisiana, I think that's taken, but we'll allow it. Number one fan spot from Tapalpa, Jalisco. Been quiet the last 2 months, better, but still grieve. EK has total fake grief. Yeah, but see that if you say that, you're going to have this JTC53 write something about you, and they'll get all angry. You know, that's how it works. They'll get all angry. So you can't let their anger get to you. Can't let their anger get to you. Baron, curious your thoughts regarding the KGB compared to Tyndale's Bible. Did King James purposely alter Tyndale's translation to lend power to ecclesiastical structures? Or was Tyndale's translation bad to begin with? I have no thoughts. I've never looked into that. Sorry. I'd love to be number one fans from Birmingham, Alabama for the Starseed Widow Sisters. Watched every single episode together. Highlight of our days. Renee, I think you made a good case. Cororado? Where's that? Cororaro? Is that a real place or are you saying something? Cororaro? Rome? You in Rome? I'll allow it. Can you please wish my ex-husband, Matt, a very happy birthday? He's a great father and still my best friend. We love your podcast and watch every day. I have so many questions. Yeah, everybody says they want to marry their best friend. I don't know what's going on there, Chrissy, but happy birthday, ex-husband, Matt. Happy birthday, ex-husband, Matt. I wish you the best. Hope it's amazing. Columbus, Ohio. Thank you, B. Christ is king indeed. Happy Thursday. For your number one fan on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete, Florida. I've been there. It's flat. Very flat. I was excited when Candace announced she was traveling to St. Petersburg, only to find out it was the other it was the original St. Petersburg. I think it was there before St. Petersburg, Florida was there. It's a beautiful place. But both, I think, are beautiful. Congrats, Granddad Baron, number one fan from Panama City, Florida. The Redneck Riviera checking in. I've been to Panama City. Probably shouldn't have been in Panama City. But I was. It was back when Panama City was like the Wild West. Bean footage is back and what the Fakit is in. Great week. Now hit like, people. Oh, yeah, hit like. Where are we on likes? I got to check. Make sure you guys are doing your duty. That's it. We'll allow it. It's not great. It's about 40% of you. All Baron Utah fans to meet tomorrow, 1 o'clock, UVU. We will race from Losi Center to non-suspicious pavers for official number one fan title. Y'all be good out there. You may want, if I do a show tomorrow, you may want to tune in because it has to do with how much distance can be traversed in a set period of time. And it's not the roof of the Losi Center, though that was record-breaking speed. Number one fan from Sierra Vista, Arizona. Home of Fort Huachuca. You're not at Fort Huachuca, are you? Oh, boy. We're in trouble, people. They're watching. Like, share, subscribe. Oh, join the club. Member-only lives are lit. Okay, bye, Jers. Hey, humble host. Hey, Journey. Nice to hear from you. Yeah, you guys will like the next member live as well. I got a good guest lined up for that. She'll be here next week. That'll be Friday. Next Friday. It'll be a good one. Ivan can't own NTX and the other, North Texas. And to the other Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, not the same. I'm Baron's number one Fort Worth fan. Well, he's a Texas property man. You can't argue with Texas property managers. Gary, take a long walk on a short pier. Sharks. I don't wish Gary harm. Gary's harmless. I think Gary himself is harmless. That woman near him may be a disaster. Your number one Spokane, Washington fan. Love watching you and your high IQ information. You always have jokes. I can't believe how everyone lies so much. Disgusting. Congrats on baby. 3 months sober. Christ is king indeed. Selena, congrats. I can't wait to hear about month number 4. Can't wait to hear about month number 4. Christ is king indeed. Calling number one fan in Brisbane, Australia. Don't you say that, Brisbane? It's not Brisbane. It's Brisbane. You guys are like the Brits. You don't pronounce all your letters. How dumb are Gary and Jenn to cast aspersions when they have their own skeletons? Can't wait to see what you uncovered. Oh, I hope I lived up to your expectations. Go, Max. I'm doing my best, Hope Bean. Doing my best. Boy, I enjoy this version of Baron. Gary is a huge piece of trash. Well, he certainly associates with him. I'll say that. Number one Los Angeles fan here, established in October 25. Love you, Baron. Besides the Queen, you are my number one podcast. Christ is king. Indeed. I will yield to the principal, though I don't think she's watching because it's the middle of the night where she is. Love the show, B. Trying again tonight. Would like to claim number one fan in Western Kentucky. Actually, Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green? Or are you talking about like the western half of the state? I'll allow it. Gary's alma mater, Quality Leering Center. Yeah, probably. Got a bone to pick with you, Baron. I've been very self-conscious for my lefty bird hands, which until a couple of weeks ago, I attributed to my Euro heritage. I saw the principal use bird hands in Hunter Biden piece and in Russia. I'd like a retraction, please. I saw that. I'd like to claim those aren't bird hands. Those are temple hands. She's creating a temple of the Lord in her hand. But in the event she's bird handing, I'll have to have a conversation with our principal. Or maybe she's the exception that proves the rule. There can't be two. There can't be two. Any leish. Know why. We know why the 1 hour delay. Go Max Bubba Baron, Christ is king indeed. That's precisely what was happening during the 1 hour delay. I was trying to calm myself down so I wouldn't get as unhinged as I probably was. Number one fan from Kansas City, Missouri. If there's another, a simple I'll allow it will do. Christ is king indeed. I'll allow it. I don't know that there is yet, but I'll allow it. Battle Bun hoodie activated. Watch out. Humble Host is on fire. Indeed, he was on fire. He was smoking. He was, doo-doo, Baron wants all the smoke today. Yeah. Scared, but now loving the vibe. RBP, let's go. We're going. Bless you, Baron, and your family. Thank you, Gabrielle. I appreciate that. I genuinely appreciate that. My 2-year-old screamed when the song went off. High IQ. But don't replay it, then you'll miss part of the show. When the show's over, go back and replay it, but do it quickly, because when the show posts, I clip it. You got to do it quickly. Edge, since you've warned of negativity, I'm just going to say that no amount of drama is going to sway me from loving the Hold Please song. Way you guys guard Candace is perfect as your smug disposition. Oh, am I smug? Is that true? Is this true? I don't think I'm smug. I apologize if you said this in the past, but what size hoodie do you wear? Large. L. Large. I'm not sure if my screen's reversed or not, but one of those is an L. I need to take a break from everything for a week or so, but I'm back getting caught up, and I missed you. Well, I missed you, Surrendered 2314. Christ is king indeed. Truth needs no excuses. Agreed. Way to be fiesta. Feisty. Oh, yeah. Feisty. Melanistic Burger Mama, now celebrating more than 1 month as an ex-Fox. Now, not an ex-Fox, meaning she's no longer Foxy. I mean ex-Fox, meaning she's changed her name. Throwback to my man's autocorrect fail. I don't party. Christ is king. God bless to your growing family. Thank you. Very kind. Keep going, Max Baron. Hope you and Christine Fakit collab. Saw you shout her out last night. Thanks for all you do and your commitment to the truth. Christ is king indeed. I think she's great. She's funny. Oh, snap. Just read the Karen Reed complaint. If what Blakey said was worse than that, I think it was. It was targeting an innocent woman who was just minding her own business and had no idea it was taking place. At least Karen Reed was charged with murder. Yes, she did. Turns out she did. Not guilty of murder, but at least he was charged with murder. Blake's just targeting some Asian gal who's just trying to get along in life. What a scumbag. Owie, I'm 2 minutes in and pumped for this episode already. Let's go. Well, let's go. Go, Max. Love this kind of passion, Baron. You're a rock star. I do my best. Oh, snap. Baron's taking out the trash. Yeah. Gonna have to watch later. 4-year-old demanding all my attention this evening. 4-year-olds can be so demanding. What you do is give him the attention he needs. Or she. Just wanted to pop in and say hi, and that I love you all. Go Max tonight. Doing our best, Mountain Mama, West Virginia. Thank you, chasing the unviews? Chasing, the sun views. The sun views. Baron, first time comment. May I be your number one fan from Decatur, Alabama? I've been there. My roommate in college, my second year, was from Decatur. I went up there and visited a couple times. Watching since middle of Google Trends. You've helped me so much since Mama passed in January. Moved back home years ago to care for her because of dementia. It's been so difficult. Just want to thank you, my B. I'll always be your B. My B. I'm sorry to hear about your mother, but Decatur's lovely. What do they call it? The Beltline, the Beltway, the big 4-lane highway there in the middle of town. The Beltline. They got Point Mallard, a little water park. I've been there as well. Always thought it was suspicious. EK did not get up and kiss CK bye in the morning. She was obviously awake and paying attention to his actions that morning, whether he got his jewelry. That's a good point. She knew he was leaving and acted like she was asleep. Feigned slumber. Feigned slumber, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't get worse than feigned slumber. I wonder if she gave off just to fake it even more. Or if she did the eyes. He was like, I'll leave without talking. Bye. One of those two things probably happened. Gary's hiding like a little schoolgirl right now. Well, maybe. Knowing Gary, he's like simulcasting it. I've never even complained about that. Never even. He's live. Candace will lose this lawsuit. Oh, is he live or not? Oh, he is live. Oh, sorry, Gary. I didn't know you had a guest. I hate to have ruined your night. Is Jenn there? Is she live too? From Mexico? Well, Baron is fired up and I'm here for it. I think the first fan from Greenfield, friends and fam excluded. Yeah, you'd have to exclude friends and family because I'm chock full of them up there in Greenfield. Home of Greenfield Central High School. The Cougars. Yes. Need answer. Can I claim burn CH or is it taken? What's burn CH? Burn CH. Oh, not burn Shay. Burn CH. What is CH? Is that Switzerland? Yeah, you can have it. Nobody else is watching from Burn. They might be. Thank you. You're huge in Canada. Number one Central Ontario fan equals me. Your smarts, heart, and integrity are appreciated. Giver equals Canadian for Go Max. Oh, well, I didn't know you guys had your own slang words. Hope the grandest baby of the jury is doing well. She's doing remarkable. I'd like to officially claim number one fan in Celebration, Florida. Where is that? Oh, man, I love learning about geography. Celebration, Florida. I'm a map junkie. Oh, you're south of Orlando. Just south of Orlando. Just south of the theme park. That is cause celeb. Great job with the show. Started watching after seeing you on Candace. I like the logical high IQ-ness of his outfit. Keep it real. Jesus is real. Indeed. Jesus is real indeed. I saw a couple of number one California fans. Hey, Cali friends. Sir Bubba Baron. I'm pretty pleased, formally requesting the number one Northern California Bay Area status. Appreciate your authority and attention to this matter. I'm not going to fight you over it. Reed case was my everyday during the trial. Crazy story. Corrupt police department. Look into Sandra Birchmore's not so self-unaliving prior to the Reed case. Some of the same officers. Really? That sounds intriguing. Number one fan in Southern Missouri. Hubs and I watch every show together. Christ is King. Indeed. Sound like you have a brilliant husband, Jessica, in Missouri. Are you on the Adidas payroll? Tell the truth now. No, but I'm willing to be. I'm willing to be. I'll even sit up high during the comments. I'll sit like this. I'll do all my comments like this so the logos are out there. Hey, guys. Welcome. I'm just reading comments. That's all. Why am I got a sciatic nerve issue in the left cheek. I just like to lean to the right. Yeah. No, but I'm willing to be. Willing to be. Hi, Brandon Crew. Perfect timing for going on a run and listening to you live. We'll definitely enjoy this run. Christ is King indeed. You know, I listen to podcasts sometimes when I'm working out today. I worked out with my son today, and I did it in silence like a psycho. I don't think he knew what was going on. He's 5. And we were doing, well, he said he wanted to work out with me, so I had to come up with a workout he could do. So we did 10 rounds of 5 push-ups, 10 air squats to depth. I made him hit depth. He did not like that. And 15 sit-ups. And so it ended up being, what's that, 50 push-ups, 100 squats, and 150 sit-ups. And about halfway through, he kind of abandoned ship. And I asked him what was going on. He's 5. And he said, you know, the push-ups aren't too bad, Dad, but my belly hurts from these sit-ups. My belly hurts. I said, well, just don't do the sit-ups. Do the squats and the push-ups. I don't like the push-ups either. But I kept saying, lower, lower, lower. You got to get lower. I want to see ATG, young man. I wonder if the USC fight location is ritualistic. I thought about that. What if someone, people could die in these UFC fights. What if someone dies on the White House lawn? Like, that's crazy. It's not a controlled environment. It's not an air conditioning. It's someone may slip. But even on that, these fights are dangerous. What if someone passed away on the White House lawn for the president's entertainment? That's creepy. Creepy. What's your take on the Avery cases in Wisconsin? Who's Avery? Avery case, Wisconsin. Oh, Stephen Avery? Guilty. Yeah, guilty. You know, I think I'm related to that gal. I looked it up when that case was popular. I think she's like a 3rd or 4th cousin through the Hallbach lineage. Through one of my great grandmothers. They had, I think, common kin like 4 or 5 generations back, and then they sort of split off. One went to Michigan, one stayed around the Sheboygan area. But they came into Sheboygan, I think, in the late 19th century, 1860s or 70s, maybe. I think 1871 or 2, now that I think about it, right about the time of the economic collapse in Germany. Don't know the story there. I'm curious about it, I guess, now that I think about it. I wasn't so curious about it at the time, but now I'm kind of curious what happened. I'll have to look into that. Did I have a family of industrialists who went broke and moved to America to escape persecution? I don't know. But I think when that happened, I remember her last name and thinking, well, I've got that last name in my lineage. And then I looked up where they were from. I was like, they were from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And so I think there was a common relative. And I almost said his first name, but I don't know that it's right. I don't want to say the wrong name. But yeah, guilty. Come on. In my opinion, I'm claiming the #1 fan in Springfield, Missouri, the birthplace of historic Route 66. I took depositions in Springfield, Missouri a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago or so. I drove there because I don't like to fly if it's close. And it was like a 15-hour drive. I had no idea how far away it was. Like, Missouri's right there. Apparently, Missouri's not right there. At least parts of it are not right there. I got lost in northern Arkansas. I ended up off the interstate trying to avoid a wreck and then got lost. And then my phone stopped getting service, so my GPS went out, and I have to pull over to some guy and ask him where I am. It's one of those situations where you're like, how do you get back to the interstate? Or how do you get to such and such cities? Like, my uncle takes me. I'm like, oh, gosh, that's what we're dealing with. Yeah. How do you get to Jonesboro? My uncle takes me. Oh, okay. I see where we're going with this. Thanks. I'll ask someone else. Number one, first, Christ is King indeed. Second, thank you for all you do, Granddad Baron. And last, I need to clarify. I'm claiming number one, North Central Texas fan, Denton County, to be exact. Isn't Denton County just Fort Worth? Isn't that right? Oh, it's north. Flower Mound. I've been to Flower Mound. I celebrated a New Year's Eve in Flower Mound in 1998, turning into 1999. With your humble hosts, Mrs. Coleman. She was not Mrs. Coleman at the time. She wouldn't become Mrs. Coleman for 2.5 years after that. But we celebrated in Denton County. Reed case was so engaging. A reminder that sometimes just because a person seems off at first, they may just be different. Reasons why I gave EK benefit. That's the thing about this. He made a whole career off of attacking a widow. This show saw its greatest growth while I was defending her from every single commenter who hated her guts and was demanding I attack her. Like, I went from 200 subscribers to like 150,000. The percentage growth is remarkable before she ever did anything where I was like, all right, I'm done with her. It was like December before I finally threw in the towel and I was like, all right, she's done. But I mean, it was remarkable growth before that. I did not build a career off attacking a widow. These guys are liars. They're liars. I believe ISR whacked CK. Do you concur? I think that's an overly simplistic reading. I'll say that. PSA 43201, number one fan and seeking dog. Late 20s, loves outdoors, animals, and Columbus. Considered applicants. Super chat, humble host. Oh, you need someone to feed, pet, and tell him he's a good boy? Is that what you're saying? Living life every day? Gentlemen, we've got one on the hook. She's seeking applicants. I'm just telling you, if you think, where's 43201? You said Central Ohio? 43201 zip code. Do you guys, gentlemen, do you want to move to Central Ohio? Just north of Columbus? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it is Columbus. Beautiful part of town. You could be a Buckeye fan. Be a Buckeye fan. They got a good football program. And they used to have a good basketball program. Not so much anymore. Has Long to Die in Cold. So classic. Yeah. Who among us hasn't Google searched that at 2:37 when there's not someone dying in the cold in the front yard? Karen should have just said, if true, swinger party. And she didn't want to go. Classy for not saying it. Who gives away their family dog? So guilty. Oh, you think that? I didn't even consider that. Is that what was happening? Well, good on her for walking away. Good on her for walking away. I followed the Karen Reed case. It was insane. Please interview Turtle Boy. He was the journalist, YouTuber, who really blew the story up. Love for you to bring him on. Love what you do. Christ is King indeed. You want me to interview someone who the first four letters of their name is Turd? I might. Baron, I told you there were similarities between TR and KR. I'm glad you listened to your sister, Alessi. Your sister. Alessi, her attorney is incredible. Christ is King indeed. I'm assuming her, the pronoun her is going back to Karen Reed's attorney, not my sister's attorney. She's in no need of an attorney that I can tell. Yeah, duly noted. Duly noted. Thank you. Christ is King did. I wasn't aware. And granted, I've only cursorily looked into it. I didn't watch any of the trial testimony. I didn't have time. I mean, just I'm on Huntsville, Alabama fan here. I'm living for the bad cop Baron. Diane, you're gonna have to fight my sister to the death. I think she's the number one fan, but I'll allow it. I used to belong to some lunch group that met in Huntsville. I had to drive down there like every other week and once a month maybe. And a bunch of guys in suits. But it was cool. I learned about the supersonic, not the supersonic, what's the hypersonic gun program at that luncheon. It was really fascinating. It had slides and everything. Stolen Legacy and Charlie Kirk intersecting. American Fork, working with corporations to put innocents in jail. All Utah 5-0 are corrupt arm of decaffeinated Mormon mafia, in Kidda Corner's opinion. I don't know much about all that, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Stolen Lego. Stolen Lego. Interesting. First super from your Kentucky neighbor. Baron, you're a generational talent. I listen to every show as I travel for work. Christ is king indeed. Indiana Jaggers, I think you should change your name to Kentucky Jaggers, because Indiana is actually the next state up from Kentucky. But thank you for listening. Christ is king indeed. Thank you for listening. Can't commend your work enough. Shout out Daisy and Mrs. Coleman supporting you. I claim #1 Tampa fan by way of some blue flag country, maybe a little red in there. Vic won't get away with meddling in our doo-doo hole. That doesn't sound right. Christ is king indeed. No meddling in there. That came up in the Karen Reed texts. That was the assault I was talking about on the girlfriend. Love that Max Energy. I believe Gary has poked the tar baby way too many times with his arrogant, bought-off words and flung himself into the briar patch. Thorns hurt, Gary. Enjoy the fire. Nicely done, Baron. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, I miss the old Gary. I miss the Gary who didn't think the 30-06 could do that damage. I liked that Gary. That's when I started following Gary. I was big on that Gary. And even when Gary started poking, I didn't, whatever. But you guys took it too far. Uncle Baron, will you please consider doing a show with Uncle Buckley Carlson? Elizabeth Lane did a show with Uncle Buckley early this week. You two would be great. Christ is king indeed. I like Buckley Carlson quite a lot. I'd be happy to do a show with him. I can't make him, but I don't do a ton of guests, but I do some member shows. That one might be worthy of a regular show. Not that these other people are not worthy of a regular show, but I don't do like interviews. Like that's not my style. I do mostly, this. Watch the whole trial. The police officers were awful. Defense attorneys were great. I have no problem with Blake Neff. Is he cuckoo? For Cocoa Puffs. #1 fan from Cincinnati. From the Natty. Remember when there were riots in Cincinnati like in the late 90s? Wasn't that crazy? I think the whole city was rioting for a while. I remember that. Hey, Cincinnati's got a cool thing. I got trapped in Cincinnati doing a trial. I got trapped there for like 3 weeks. Couple things about Cincinnati really cool. Before then, I'll read the rest of your comment. First thing, they have a really good barbecue restaurant called Montgomery Inn. I still to this day buy their barbecue sauce. I love it. Montgomery Inn, great barbecue. They have these little like Greek meatballs, phenomenal. Their pulled pork pretty good. Their beef barbecue is amazing. They had this sampler platter. Now, granted, it was too much, but I was on the company dime, so they were paying for it. And so I ordered it. It was like $40, but it is this huge platter of just meat. The whole platter is just meat. And I ate it so many days in a row, I started getting the meat sweats. I was like, all right, I got to dial it back. And I got to eat some vegetables. I found a little Thai restaurant, and at least I had rice noodles. That kind of counted. Maybe some little chopped up carrots or something in there. Little sprinkled chives over the top of it. But yeah, no, man, Montgomery Inn was great in Cincinnati. So that was cool thing #1 about it. Cool thing #2 is, and I didn't discover this till later in my trip. I got bored one night. I've been there so long, I was getting stir crazy, tired of sitting in the hotel every night. You didn't know anybody in town, nothing to do. And I kept noticing there were these lights way up on the hill, kind of to the east of town. I was like, what's up there? There's a beautiful Catholic church up there. And I drove over there. And I wished I discovered it earlier. There's this whole little community up there. It's just like cool little town square area up there. And there's this Catholic order that like maintains this little church up there. It's beautiful, beautiful. So that's cool thing #2. I guess cool thing #3 is I took in a baseball game with my dad at the Cincinnati ballpark there, the Great American Ballpark. Cool park as well. Cool park. Haven't been able to join a live in so long due to work schedule, but I'm able to drop in quickly and always rewatch them later. Congratulations on becoming the most wonderful, humble granddad. Keep up the amazing work. Christ is king indeed. The humblest granddad there ever was. Please interview Turtle Boy. Oh, now you're telling me it doesn't have the word turd in it. Now I feel bad. I'll look it up. Turtle Boy, Karen Reed. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Aiden Turtle Boy Kearney. Oh, he's currently going into trial for defamation and civil conspiracy by 4 key prosecution witnesses. I don't know that he'll want to be interviewed right now. Yeah, maybe he will. That's even more exciting. Maybe I will reach out. Sorry, I didn't finish. You are a gem with Microdots. Wish Microdots was covering Kirk Case. His video movies are top notch. Thank you. Love you, Baron. You guys can try to pretend CK wasn't racist, but didn't he hire Blake? I'm sure he knew who he was hiring. He also did a weekly show with Jack Posobiec, didn't he? Was he alleged to be the R word? Jack Posobiec? I didn't know that. Admittedly, I don't follow him closely. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on the whole Charlie Kirk hired Blake thing. I'm bothered by that. Very bothered by that. Maybe he didn't know the extent of it. Blakey is a garden tool? Shame on you, Blakey. Say no to gardening? By this time, Blake knows where some of the bodies are buried. They can't burn him without actually burying him. Allegedly, in my opinion. I hope they don't do that. Well, then by all means, Blake, keep working. We don't want anything bad to happen to you. Pot roast, best I've ever made. Mr. Compton. Oh, Mr. Com. Normally, your stuff's just pretty middling. Middling to average. Tonight, it's best he's ever made. I love the community here. I hope the #1 fan in Idaho Falls is not claimed yet. Not if Lee DuPont Trotter's not watching. He's the surgeon in the Charlie Kirk case. I think he lives in Idaho Falls. Regardless, I'm a fan. By the way, I live near the airport in Idaho Falls, and I wonder who might be coming and going on all the planes. Well, there were several Idaho Falls trips on a lot of these planes, but it's been a while. Particularly around the day that Candace Owens revealed that she had the footage from behind Charlie Kirk. There were a lot of Idaho Falls trips right about then. That makes you wonder what they were talking about. Every time you talk about that rug, it makes me laugh thinking about Seinfeld. Remember when George tried out the hair hat and Elaine tossed it out the window? I do. Yeah, I do. I think I'm God. Prove me wrong. You'll find out one day. Shirt idea. Front, allegedly, back, in my opinion, with arrows directing you to look to the reverse side on both sides. I will say, ridiculously big podcast fans of your humble host sent me a picture the other day. They had that shirt made. They didn't have the arrows, but said allegedly on one side, in my opinion, on the back. I thought it was very cute. Yes, hands down, Baron is the GOAT. Don't tread on Coleman. Christ is king indeed. Oh, I need one of those snake flags. Do you have referrals for attorneys familiar with federal lemon law, Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, UCC laws for RVs, and or legal malpractice attorney? I don't. I wish I did, Bree. I wish I did. I could literally feel them lying as I listened to Turk and Hibbs talk to each other in that weird interview. The truth is easy. Christ is king indeed. It's hard for them to claim they're just mistaken. These are too obvious. These are far too obvious. And it makes you wonder, what is it about the phones that is so important to get on the record? What was it about the necklace that we had to talk about the necklace for several days? What is it about the phones that we have to keep coming back to the phones? It's like they're nailing down a story that they need in the public conscience. The truth is easy. Please throw us another bone about JH like you did with Andrew. Yeah, I'm open to bones. I'm open to tips, Mikey. I'm open to information, Mikey. Be careful when you're talking to Mikey. When do you not call 911? When you want to take Charlie Kirky out and not to lunch. Oh, yeah. No one called 911. All these phone calls, none of them called 911. Whoa, Baron, going Max on Gary. I'm here for it. Almost wish we could simulcast him, but I'll just watch a replay of him blinking after live That should cover it. I don't think he's covering this show. He looked like he was interviewing some pro greatest ally person. Yeah. He's interviewing some ally show. He has destroyed his channel. I hope the contract was worth it. I hope it was worth it. I don't give a damn. Great podcaster. Liar, liar, their pants are on fire. I don't give a damn's a great podcaster, not Blinker. And so are their alibis, their timelines, and whatever's left of their credibility. The only thing they agree on is it definitely wasn't their fault. Yeah, and it makes you wonder when they can't agree on anything else. I can't wait to see the clips of our humble host saying, I'm about to knock a 5-year-old out. Christ is king indeed. They better watch out. They better watch out. Thank you. Depositions with Reed are also part of a scandal in the murder of 23-year-old pregnant Sandra Birchmore. Girl was conditioned from middle school till expiration by Canton Police Department. What the hell's going on in Canton Police? Canton, Massachusetts? Where is Canton, Massachusetts? I'm guessing it's near Boston because everything seems to be. Let's see how right I am. Just south of Boston. Well, that makes sense. If she was a adjunct professor at Bentley, isn't that south of Boston? Isn't that Lexington? Near Foxborough, isn't that where the Pats play? Gotta go take in a Pats game. Take in a Pats game. Uncle Baron, it's about time. I love this side of you. I try not to be this way. I try to be kind. New Granddad Glow has temporarily faded. No, not at all. No punches pulled on Gary today. Proverbs 18:6 applies. The lips of fools bring them strife, and their mouths invite a beating. Go Max. Christ is king indeed. Yeah. Again, I am very patient with people. I'll let them poke and poke and poke, but once you take it too far, like I'm gonna fight back. Baron, your show from way back about Butch's shirt pocket was on the phone right after Charlie Kirk went down, as seen in back of many interviews. Calling his brother? Sounds like it. And it sounds like now he doesn't want people to know he talked to him. Now that we know what was in Butch's front pocket. Attacking an attorney's credentials are always the first attempted line of attack. You scared, bro? Promise making money this way is much more difficult. I'm not scared. Michaela, you know better. You know better than that. Claiming number one in San Diego, Tijuana. We're conjoined and unique culture here. In case you missed it, excelente español. Y si soy native speaker. Blessings. Christ is king indeed. I am not a native speaker. You may be. And if I am a native speaker. Yeah, no, I'm not a native speaker. But yeah. Please look into Rick Allen in the Delphi case. Also, my heart breaks for him, his wife, and the two girls' family members who have not received true justice. Yeah, again, I didn't follow the Delphi case very closely. I've heard a lot about it. I mean, I've heard people talking about it. But happy to hear you're going to be talking about the Karen Reed case. I followed it closely. Super corrupt cops. She's not guilty. IMO. A jury declared it thusly. Yes, Baron, go Max. I do my best. This is Battlebeard episode. P.S. I'm from Selma, Alabama, but live in Orange Beach now. Y'all have a place to stay in this 3-bedroom apartment for life. Well, I've been to both of those places. I've been over the Edmund Pettus Bridge right there into Selma. Been to the Dallas County Courthouse right there in Selma. Been by Morgan Academy there in Selma. And, of course, Orange Beach. Anybody who's lived down that way for any period of time has been to Orange Beach, which is like nicer Gulf Shores. No offense to my Gulf Shores people. Gary? You big dummy? Ivan, let's be kind. I'm 5 minutes behind the song Click, Click, Bang by Saliva to Gary. Boom. Diminished. By Saliva? That's a band name if I've ever heard one. Marcinko was the founder of Development Group, SEAL Team 6. He was tasked with trying to infiltrate domestic security installations. Well, He was also held in Mexico in an investigation. So it is what it is. New U.S. Navy SEAL commander, Vietnam War veteran. He was the first commanding officer of SEAL Team 6. So I hear. These sickos are masters of psychological projection. I agree. Keep it up, Gary. You may find out what kind of pro bono team of attorneys stand behind our humble host and our principal, Michaela. Michaela's getting salty. Hibbs does the uptalk thing occasionally. Gross. His voice gives me the hibby jibbies. Fires. Does he really? I have to go back and listen to him. I'm trying to replay some of that interview in my head. I'll have to check that out. That's a good tip. See, that's a tip. I said Daisy a tip. The Reckless Bin, Bricks, and Minifig scandal has direct ties to Charlie Kirk. Hold, please. You telling me Charlie died for a set of Legos? I'll be very disappointed if that's how it goes. Everybody's looking for foreign intelligence operations. No, dog, it's the Star Wars set. Man had to go. All I can do is roll my eyes these days at the clearly desperate attempts by these people. They tend to point the finger with three pointing back. Christ is king indeed. Indeed. Low IQ move for TPUSA to trust Gary Blinkton from forgets to redactical. Yeah. RBP is my new fave. Thank you for your hard work. Mama of two, claiming #1 fan from the Space Coast, where the Artemis 2 launched. Cocoa Beach, Florida. Well, it launched. It just went into low Earth orbit, and they acted like they went around the moon. All of TPUSA and their podcast agents, in the words of our principals, give me the ick. Actually, they may not even gone into low Earth orbit. They may have just done one of these moves and then landed in the ocean. And then, did I show you the plane that went up? Did I show you that? I can't remember if I showed that on the air or not. It went up and circled at 20,000 feet just about the time they miraculously re-entered and splashed down right below where the plane circled for an hour at 20,000 feet. You remember that? That's not the place you'd want to be circling if a red hot space nugget was flying at you. But it might be the place you'd want to circle if you were just pushing said space nugget out of the door at 20,000 feet. All of TPUSA and their podcast agents, in the words of our principal, give me the ick. Yes, the ick indeed. Ivan, Gary, you mercenary charlatan monetizing mediocrity, mistaking bluster for authority, a hollow, inconsequential fraud who should stay silent. Now get on your little F-horse, grifter, and ride. Christ is king indeed. Going after lawyers' whole careers, finding, vetting, and presenting evidence was a huge mistake. Not a typo. I don't use the Oxford comma. Well, we all have our mistakes. We all have our faults. Cheryl. We all have our mistakes. Did Victor Marx write her bio? That's pretty funny. Baron, don't. You told me not to read it out loud, so I'm just reading it on the screen, Michaela. I don't know what that is. If I know, I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. Well, I didn't read it out loud. It's not going to make the transcript. She's such a gangster, Baron. You should start a comedy channel. Well, not funny to me. This woman's terrifying. It's 7:58 Eastern. I'm just now starting my sense. I'm sensing a bad cop Baron night. Emailed about Mr. Briggs. Charlie Kirk got him from Victor Marx. #1 Western PA fan here. Christ is king indeed. What happened to that dog? Is that dog still around? Would it be possible for you to explain why you think Mike Huckabee is awful? I was horrified by the Tucker Carlson interview, but wonder if there's something else. Thank you for all you do. God bless. The interview wasn't enough? I mean, he basically said it was okay with him if our greatest ally took over 7 countries. The people live there. Wait, was that the dude from Napoleon Dynamite, Rex Kwon Do? He should have been wearing the American flag parachute pants. Now, that's a nice reference. That's a nice reference. Appreciate all you're doing, Baron. Your live streams constantly buffer every few seconds. It's awful. I tried everything, including reinstalling YouTube. Sure, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. I haven't heard that from too many people. I have some live streams of Buffer, but not many. Jack Hibbs rug looks like Daniel Boone's hat, like a dead squirrel. I thought Daniel Boone wore a dead raccoon, but I'll allow it. Squirrel, right? But he's a fox squirrel, kind of look like a raccoon. Karen Reed equals guilty. And like EK threw innocent people under the bus, encourage witness intimidation, including teens, lies, changed the story, and did many TV interviews and implicates self-PD behavior. Horrible, but car and phone data hard to dispute. And Karen Reed behavior lies. Admittedly, I didn't follow it closely or at all. And I only read, I don't know, 20 or so news articles to kind of help put that opening together, just try to get an idea of what the prosecution's case was, what the defense's case was. I read a few courtroom summaries of particular lines of evidence. I wanted to know more about the taillight, more about the hair on the bumper and all that. But I came away thinking she didn't do it. But, reasonable people can disagree. Gary's blinded by his government contracts, and Jen's tacticals. I appreciate you, Baron. I love the RBP. Is that what we're calling those these days? Tacticals? Can you see my tacticals? Oh, G.I. Jen Griff. No, she's giving my name Griff a bad name. We are not the same. Oma, I would never say that. I cannot believe a woman who never served in the military went by G.I. Jen and wore military garb. Obviously trying to convince everybody she served in the military. I mean, what a fraud. What a fraud. PSKR probably has fat knuckles too. Love you, King. God, man, Dre, you hate her. I doubt it, though. Have you seen her? Let me see if I can find her hands. See if I can find. Oh, no, I'm looking at them right here. Come on. Now you're just being mean. Now you're just being mean. Look at his perfect fingers. Yeah, not fat at all. I don't know, but I will say this. Didn't Erica do that thing? We might be onto something. We might be onto something, ladies and gentlemen. Might be onto something. I got another picture of her hands here. Oh, come on. Come on. You can think she's guilty all day long, but you can't go after those knuckles. Look at those. Perfectly proportioned knuckles. Oh, don't be that way. Don't be that way. Don't be that way. Baron is responsible for 50% of the views on the Hibbs pod with Frank. I bet. There weren't many people that would have seen it. Let me go back and look at it. How many views does it have now? Where is it? There it is. Oh, yeah. I bet you were easily half of them. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. In the firearm industry, sounds like she's a wannabe gun bunny. Industry's dripping with these grifters. Makes sense. GM would know, respect her. What's a gun bunny? Colloquial slang. Women who pose with firearms or post tactical lifestyle content online. Often self-adopted moniker by female gun enthusiasts and content creators. Oh. Maybe. Yes, sir. Take that, Gary. You just got your butt handed to you the good old-fashioned way with truth. Go, Max. Baron. Baron's army green hoodie is equivalent to Candace's battle bun. Yeah, this was an intentional selection. I wanted to highlight that she's a fraud. Jen, she's a fraud. She dresses up in military garb. At least I just wear this color. And only when I'm attacking her. I told my wife I had a 5 o'clock date with Baron. I arrive at the date and our humble host is serving dessert. Time zones are underrated and Paramount spectacle is finished. Yeah. He's pretty lousy. Fantastic show. Keep going, Max. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. So fun listening to the number one fan Geo Wars last night. Reminded me of calling shotgun as my brother and I raced to the family car for a trip to anywhere. Penny Lane. Yeah. We settled that debate in our household a long time ago. When you have 8 kids, there has to be a shotgun rule, or else the kids will fight. So it goes oldest to youngest. The oldest gets to pick the seat, and then the next. And so the youngest always has to sit in the middle, or the youngest on the ride. They don't all fit in one car. Well, that bovine muzzle sure reminds me of EK. Bovine muzzle? Whew. Any inside info regarding Charlie Kirk's sister suing TPUSA EK for ownership? You can't sue for ownership of a 501c3. I'm going to call Bubkus on that. But Baron, good job with the cattle prod today. Your opinions on IVF. Love you. Christ is king indeed. I'm not a doctor. I will say the Catholic position on IVF is that I'm not supposed to do it. And it goes to the pro-life from conception to natural death. And the unfortunate reality is on the IVF procedure, there are a lot of extra embryos, typically. And sometimes those have to be harvested for safety purposes, safety of the mother, and sometimes they just don't get implanted anywhere and they get discarded. And so the Catholic Church has shied away from that. And I've not looked into it much, and so I've kind of just adopted that position. But yeah, I don't. It is what it is. In response to unbelievable call, Hibbs says, when I got it, as if it was a text, not when I heard that. Oh, more common for a phone call. I say when I got the call. We often say, oh, he got the call. When someone shows up weird. Buffalo's #1 fan checking in. Jen's giving Temu EK vibes, but he can't even pull that off. Keep going, Max. Love and appreciate all you do. Christ is king indeed. Temu EK is pretty good. Pretty good description. Baba Baron, is that Jen's real name or just short for grifter? Oh, no. As a veteran, I find her alluding to being a veteran offensive. Christ is king indeed. I find it offensive and I never served. We love Baron Unleashed. Love your comment, Unleashed. You're a man of integrity. Thank you. I thank you, Granny Pam. I appreciate it. Carrie, thank you. Very kind of you. Vote Dr. Annie Andrews for Super Chat if you can. For South Carolina. Excuse me. Super Chat. How do we vote for Super Chat? Also, thank you, Baron, Casey, and Daisy for all you're doing. Thank you. South Carolinian here will certainly be voting LG out, but not sure Mark Lynch is the answer either. Love you, mean it. Christ is king indeed. Well, he's the only one I've seen that has a chance. So that's the only, Nissy member show was one of the best ever. More of that, please. Battle Green hoodie for the win. Yeah, I think you guys will like next week's as well. I will say this. I was talking to Trigger Smart today on the phone, and I told him, I said, I got a great response from the Nissy social member chat. Like, it was phenomenal. The comments, the behind the scenes communications, she got a great review. And you make the names of the DC lawyers you're waiting on public so we can hold them accountable. And Jenn was wearing dog tags too. Was she really? No. What a fraud. I cannot believe he has this woman associated with his program. What a fraud. Just be who you are. Even if who you are is not someone that's like would go down smooth with a lot of your fans, just be who you are. Or lie about who you are, but don't lie about who you are. Like, don't be Jenn the producer and be Jenn the grifter. I don't know. #1 fan in Savannah. Thanks for all you do, B. Beautiful country. Beautiful country. I also claim #1 fan from Georgia, along with my 3 little boys. There can only be one, so you're going to have a family shootout. A fight. Watched every moment of that case with Emily D. Baker. It had my head spinning, but I'm so glad you're making the connection to the Charlie Kirk case. High IQ. #1 fan in Indiana. Go who's yours? Arrogant taste. I will allow it. Gary, not so tactical. You're 100% gross. You hear that, Gary? You're gross. You're amazing. Truth. Widowed mama here and part of your following of Central Florida nursing. 75 students. Crisis King. And I appreciate you so much. Papa B. XOXO. Thank you. #1 fan in Central Louisiana. Oh. Baron, Dick Marcinko was the founder of SEAL Team 6. In the 80s, he did 21 months in federal pen for conspiracy and defrauding the government related to military contracting and procurement practices. Good guy. I didn't unload on him much. Fourth generation Oregon fan, number one fourth generation Oregonian fan. You were there when the Oregon Trail was still active. Thank you for pointing out that mail-in voting destroyed a beautiful state. It did. It's hard to recover from mail-in balloting. It's just so ripe with fraud. My birthday, 80th birthday, freckled American. Congratulations. That's a long time to just survive. Like, you didn't have to do anything great. Just the fact that you made it means it's great. June 5th at midnight. I'm claiming number one fan in Cincinnati based on that and seniority. All Cincinnatians, you must yield. He's 80. He certainly would remember the rioting in the Natty. Great show as always. Your number one fan from Gardendale, Alabama. I've been there too. You guys have a big cross right on the interstate. Home of Scott Beeson. Scott Beeson from Gardendale, Alabama, former state senator, current radio host, FM talk radio host. Ani, GM plays dirty. It was appropriately fitting to unleash, especially upon an insult insinuating PDF tendency. You were gracious. You're a man of God, a gentleman. Kudos to you. Christ is king indeed. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. Number one Pensacola fan, since Panhandle already claimed. Yes. You can have that one. You can have that one. The read case, I refers to it as the night of a dozen accidental butt dials. Yeah, so to the person who was saying Karen Reed's guilty, why were the people in the house Google searching at 2:30 in the morning how long it takes a person to die in the snow? Like, that was compelling to me. That's compelling. I mean, really compelling. But I wasn't there. 2:30 search was debunked by experts. Was done at the scene 5-ish in the morning with KR right there asking her to go. Oh. Then why did the news reports say 2:30? I'll have to look into that. Because that was really compelling to me. Miss seeing you on Rumble. Can't stand YouTube due to its censorship. Will you be back on Rumble anytime soon? Please, Baron. Not likely. Not real soon. Not unless they get their act together. They've got. They and I got sideways a little bit. John Mappin let Blake Neff have it today on X. Made him look like a childish fool. And about the censorship, like, I'm not going to say anything on Rumble I wouldn't say here because I broadcast here and there at the same time. So let Blake Neff have it on X. Made him look like a childish fool. When was this? I would like to read this. John Mappin. John Mappin. I don't know where it is. Oh, there he is. John Mappin. I'll have to find it. I did see when I pulled this up, apparently Elizabeth Lane is also downloading on Jenn, the producer. The Queen of Connections. Wow. That's interesting. Gary's producer's clearly threatening me by invoking the CIA, the Joint Chiefs, Marco Rubio. She has no connects, and here she is dragging his name. Oh, my goodness. Jenn, the producer. I hate to be you tonight. Oh. Made him look like a childish fool. Yeah, I tried to find that. I'll have to look for it. I'm always down for that. My son right now. Holy doo-doo, don't piss Baron off, get him. Yeah, I sit back and I'm so patient. So I don't understand these people. I think they confuse my patience with like acquiescence or agreement. And it's not. It's just patience. Like, I understand everybody gets to vent a little bit. Then you move on. Whatever. You don't like me for a little while. You say it. I don't care. But at a certain point, stop. Thanks for the fun tonight, Baron. I suppose I'll have to claim your second top fan from Livingston Parish since someone beat me to it. Hi, neighbor. I'm in Watson. I didn't realize we were so big in Livingston Parish. Apparently we're huge. Like the Balkans. Number one fan in North Texas here. Already called by a few, but the first gal used the Chilean flag instead of the Texas flag So she may have to share her spot. Yeah. Oh, that's what that flag was. You're cooked. You're cooked, gal. Now, Penny Lane just snuck in there with you. Number one fan from Georgia. Oh, wait. I already read that. Congrats on becoming a dad. Thank you. Christ is King indeed. You're welcome. And in tonight's news, Baron goes, those out. Great stream. Mikey, come join the team. You could also run for senator in South Carolina. They'd be comfortable with you for sure. Oh, gosh. Usually we remember what we did or where we were when tragedy hits, and he doesn't know who called first. No, he couldn't remember the agreed upon story. That's correct. And that's why Frank was like, bro, we just went over this, like right before the camera started rolling. We just went over this. How did you get it so wrong? I'll take number one fan from Oskaloosa. I've been everywhere, man. Don't forget to ask to hype the video on YouTube. I don't know what hyping means. I do it sometimes. It asks me, would you like to hype? I'm like, sure, why not? If I liked it, I might as well hype it. But I don't really know what it means. But go for it. Hype away. Hype away. Hype away. And we got 5 new people that can watch the Nissy Social. Thank you for that, Rose. Why do Gary, Jenn, and Shills give Victor marks? Good question. I don't know. Paramount antithetical to the truth. Why does... I don't know. I just asked that. I don't know. I'm your number one South Carolina fan. Good. Vote against Lindsay. Baron, take Friday off. Tonight was phenomenal. Oh! I've been sent away, guys. AB Super South Carolina here. Anything to remove Lindsay will be done. Go Max home. Snuggle your grandbaby for us. And I'm the number one from South Carolina. I always never miss a show. Always never. Oh, I'll allow it. Only because it's about not missing a show. Christ is King, indeed. Indeed. Lebanon, Kentucky, UL fan, not UK. Where's Lebanon? We have a Lebanon, Tennessee. Is it close? Probably not, since Lebanon's in the middle of the state. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, you're up there by Louisville. Sure enough is. Oh, you're close to the Abraham Lincoln birthplace. Not far at all. Not far at all. Oh, yeah. A big time down there. Big time down there. Between Danville and Elizabethtown. That's where Lebanon is, if you're wondering. Number one fan from Myrtle Beach. For super. Love your show. Voting for Lynch Tuesday. Keep doing what you do. We appreciate you. I've never been to Myrtle Beach. I hear great things about it. Never been to Hilton Head. Number one fan in Central PA. Cradle Catholic. Returning to the faith and bringing my kids along for the ride. Might wear my certified grumbler sweatshirt to mass. Kidding. Christ is King indeed. Your humble host wears hoodies to mass. Don't tell your Protestant brethren that. They don't understand it. But we're allowed to do that as Catholics. Number one, Glasgow, Scotland. Love your show. Christ is King indeed. As I was looking for Lebanon, Kentucky, I just saw Glasgow, Kentucky. I wonder if your sister cities. Thank you. Number one and number two fans, Pam and Devin from Mesa, Arizona. We both love your show. Mesa's beautiful. Kitty litter box, but beautiful. King Granddad, great info. Blessings to your family. Thank you. Check with Victor. Bet he is a fan of G.I. Jen. Yeah. I'm irritated with these people too, Baron, but blessed because Christ is King indeed. Number one fan from Sacktown. He's a Kings fan. I liked Chris Webber. And Jason Williams. That dude could ball. If I'm scrolling and Jason Williams highlights across I'm watching them. If I see Jason Williams in a Kings jersey, we're next 3 minutes, I'm cooked. I'm watching. The bam, we got to go. Hold, please. I'm watching White Chocolate. Things are heating up in Nashville. Ooh-ee. Oh, Nashville's great. Mr. Wachuka. I'm so glad you read about the Reed case. So many similarities between evidence, corruption, and being framed to the TR case. God bless you and your family. Don't let them get to you. They don't get to me. I fight back with emotionless. A mafia style. You wait, let it simmer. If they stop, you let them go. If they don't, did you ever share the tick mosquito spray you use? Of course, not medical advice. Let me see here. I owe this to you. Let me see here. Excuse me. Let's see if I can find it. Murphy's Naturals eucalyptus lemon oil. Seems to work. Your humble host has that O positive blood they love so much. Rubber City equals Akron, Ohio. George flew to Akron in the comeback to get his nemesis back for the jerk store. The jerk store called. They're all out of you. Does the woman who be in is cyber stalking? No. 45 miles, number one, 45 miles north of Kansas City, Missouri. We're getting oddly specific, guys. I'm sure she knows. Her name pretty easy to find. Number one fan from Hartselle, Alabama, next to Decatur. I know where Hartselle is. I know Ed Henry. Ed Henry's from Hartselle, Alabama. Former state representative Ed Henry. Good guy. I like Ed quite a lot. Number one fan from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Love to you and family. Christ is King. Jesus loves you all. Jesus loves you more. Christ is King indeed. Home of the Chattanooga Choo Choo. Ivan, Christ is King indeed. Yes, I'm number one in North Texas. Home of Toyota, AT&T, Frito-Lay, JCPenney, Samsung, Intuit, Bank of America, PGA, the Dallas Cowboys, and GBC's number one fan in North Texas. Gary, you suck. Oh, Ivan, you were on a roll. And then you got mean. But that's okay. It's okay. Is Candace okay with the bombings going on over there? Was worried about it. She looks like she's doing swimmingly based on her feisty X posts. Where was our Jesus loves you yesterday? Christ is King. Thank you for all you do. It was there. Why does everybody think I forget that? You know what I think happens is you guys scroll to the very end and you don't realize that sometimes I say a thing or two after I say it. But somebody in the comments said, you didn't say Jesus loves you. And I was like, pretty confident I did. Pretty confident I did. And then I had to go find it. And I did. I found it. I'll prove it. Hold, please. There it is. We'll play. Oh, nope, not that. Oh gosh, where is it? I just commented to somebody. Oh, here we go. All right. This is just, I'm not going to do this every show that someone asks, but people ask me this all the time. They act like I forget it. And then they tell me I forgot it. Or better yet is when they tell me I forgot it. So here's your proof, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget. I know you guys don't forget. You would never forget. You're not the kind of people who would forget. But Jesus loves you. It was right there. It was right there. Someone in the comments, you didn't say it. You always say it. You forgot to say it. And I was like, here's your timestamp. Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, don't be so accusatory. And I have forgotten. It's been months since I forgot, but I have forgotten occasionally. But I did not forget last night. No. Okay. Number one, North Louisiana, crocheting LSU fan of our humble host. Christ is King. I'm wearing my Candace shirt, but I wore my RBP shirt yesterday. I got to wear my sweatshirt. So, a viewer sent me the Candace shirt. I told my priest I would chill. And I need to wear that on a member show sometime. But Brad Pitt. Are we the only one who thinks you look like Brad Pitt? Yeah, you're the only one. Pardon my French. We're from Quebec. No, I think you're the only person on earth that thinks I look like Brad Pitt. Hey, Brad, first comment ever, always. And. Go see an eye doctor. You have real problems. Hey, Baron, first comment ever. Always love your show. I learned so much. First grandbaby is 17 months. There's nothing like them. Enjoy. My mom has me send the show to her every time it's on. Number one, East Kentucky. Your mom sounds amazing. Cornell, New York. Brand new. I don't know what that means. In brand new city? You are corrido and not smug? One devout Catholic sister to her brother. Happy month of the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ is King indeed. Darling. I didn't know that word. Querido. I'm going to use it, though. I'm mixing that into the vernacular or into the lexicon. It's going in there. Yeah. May I have number one Texas advocate carrying naloxone? Oh, Amy. Yeah, you can have it. Can I be your number one Clemson fan from Anderson, South Carolina? Expecting my third grandson in October. I'm called Grammy. I'm voting Lynch for the Senate primary. Crystal, you can have that. Good friend of mine's son went to Clemson, but I don't think he lives in Anderson. I think he moved to Charlotte after school. Baroness, I love your fire show. Give Gary some grace. It's not his fault he's slow, for he knows not what he is doing. He's a descendant from a Kandahar giant with 3 giant teeth. My hello from South Teja. Yeah, well, it makes it difficult, but there's no excuse. Number one fan from the big town of Dover, Foxcroft, Maine. Sounds huge. My wife, daughter, and I love the high IQ outfit you're running over there. Christ is King indeed. Sounds like you're in a high IQ family. There in Dover, Foxcroft, the bustling metropolis. Though it is. Someone said bad old beard baron in the chat. I approve. Keep checking the RBP store for the under $10 Joe Crash Out merch. Any idea when it's coming? My hold please mug is lovely. Yeah, well, we'll roll out new merch in probably another week or two. Let me check something. You just reminded. I forgot to tell you again tonight, and Nurse Casey's going to be beside herself. But we have some new merch. Where is it? Oh, I can't find it. The infant merch, baby merch is in. And there was something else that I was supposed to tell you about. Also in. So if you've been looking for something in particular, wait. But yeah, we'll roll out some new stuff pretty soon. We're going to have to rotate some of the old stuff off. So if you want one of those original like Gen 1 high IQ outfits, now's the time. It's official. We need RBP's number one fan merch. Yes. We need a number one fan in blank. And then you can like write it in with a Sharpie. Jack Hibbs saying his bro's attendance at UVU was last minute gives weight to your theory about the mic in his pocket. Why say it otherwise? It's like the necklace in Andrew's broken phone. Yes, correct. You've nailed it. The fact that they're trying to make it seem like, and here's the even better part. I think originally the story was that he just made the arrangements that morning. I didn't even do this part. If you go look at Jack Hibbs' comments, originally it was just, the morning of. Yeah, my brother just wanted to be there. And then they were like, no one's buying that. The night before, he just wanted to be. No, dog. No. Christ is King indeed, Pam. Off topic B, why is the greatest ally? PM saying he requested Section 224 added to NDAA. Christ is King indeed. I don't know. I haven't seen that. I think Celebration Formula, known for Florida, known for family massacre. Mass cases are insanely corrupt. Check out Lawyer Peter Tragos coverage. Do I know Peter Tragos? I don't think I know him. Florida attorney Peter Tragos. Have I ever tried a case with this guy? Or have I run across him somehow? I don't remember him. No, he went to Florida State for law school, so I didn't go to law school with him. Or is that like his slogan, the lawyer you know? Maybe I'm missing it all wrong. I called number one fan from New Braunfels, Texas a long time ago, so make sure everyone knows I will defend my place of honor any day. That's a popular place for TPUSA planes to land. But Baron, 4 months, baby. You are simply the best. 4 months, baby. You're simply the best and love when you pop off asking for prayer. Friends have had chronic life-altering back pain for 5 years and truly need a miracle. Much love. My B. Guys, pray for Lainey. She's in chronic pain. Life-altering back pain. Pray for Lainey. We'll do that for you. Number one fan from Lakeport, California. Northern California. And please look into Sandra Birchmore case. Boston cop unalived her and her baby. R.I.P. Sandra and baby Birchmore. I keep hearing about that. Number one podcast. Oh, not there yet. Working on it. But Baron, can I be your number one fan for the Shoals? Someone else claimed that the other day, but you can fight her for it. Home of fame, and congratulations on your granddaughter. I'm a Mimi to a 6-year-old granddaughter, and there's nothing like it. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, someone else claimed the Shoals, and they even claimed the Swampers, so they went even deeper than just fame. Love when Bad Cop Baron comes out. Can I claim number one fan in Liberty Hill, Texas? 20 minutes north of Austin. It's yours. Yours. You know, I don't mediate these. This is for you guys to fight out. I just let you read it out if you want to claim it. Baron, as irritated as I am with the number one fan trend, I can't help myself. Number one fan from Trigo, Montana. Not far from FCA and Whitefish in Montana Miles. Christ is king indeed. Trigo, Montana. Starting late. Flip the switch, Grand Abbey. Switch flipped. Richard Marcinko created SEAL Team 6. Noted. Please have a look into the hostage cases of Sonia Nientiet, an IRC nurse abducted since 2018 by ISL. Riots and attention to it is all needed for pressure. Okay. Thank you. Hey, Baron, I enjoyed being part of the jury all the way from Switzerland, and it's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. in Switzerland. Should be 2 a.m. in Switzerland. Are we sure you got the time right? Temporary claim number one fan for Guyton, Georgia. Moved to northern Idaho in the very near future. Thanks for all you do. That's a popular place for people to move. I heard it's booming. Christ is king indeed, sir. Thank you. Reed case and Birchmore case is related because Proctor was the main investigator of both cases. Corruption of Reed case caused FBI to be involved. So now all cases involving Proctor are being reviewed. Good. Number one in Peoria, Illinois. Born and raised in Indianapolis. Always be a Hoosier. Keep going, Max. Christ is king indeed. Linda? We'll allow it. Champaign, Illinois. Checking in. Oski. Wow. I don't know what that means. Oh, Alina. Great work has always been watching, but quiet. Aging parents, and I'm it. Mom's dementia getting very bad. Appreciate prayers from my mom, dad, and me. Oh, Jill of all trades. That's terrible. That is terrible. I hate to hear that. Good luck to you, and we'll pray for you. Question, JTC be Jenn, ruins NM, JTP, Jenn the producer. I don't know what that means. I wish I did. Thank you, Baron and team, for all you do. Been watching since Ian showed the light. Number one fan from 8 Mile and Evergreen in Detroit. Can you squeeze tighter, please? Had me. I did say that, didn't I? Oh, gosh. We don't kink shame here on the Real Baron podcast. No. 8 Mile. I saw that movie when I was in college. UFC at White House with Erica Kirk as MC. Seems like their way to attempt to get America to embrace EK and get red-blooded males interested in the Republican Party again. I don't think that's true, though. I don't think she's actually going to be the MC. I think she is, I think that's like a meme that got out of control. I don't think that's true. I hope it's not true. Top main fan here. Just want to say thank you for sparing us the sponsor reads. We appreciate the value you bring every show. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Number one Decatur, Alabama fan here again. Yes, it's Beltline Road. I knew it had belt in it. Beltline, Beltway. Also, the bridge here is named after my granddaddy, Hudson Memorial Bridge. Turn my sis on to you, too. I suppose she can claim the number 2 fan in Decatur. Yeah, I could name people there, but I don't want to do that. I don't. But I had some friends from Decatur. Number one follower. Born and raised here in Boston, Massachusetts. Christ is king. You guys have a crazy accent. That's why I like it. Blinker crossed the line he can't come back from. He needs to learn. I'll let him come back. If he calms down, we'll let him come back. Confederatia Helvetica. Real name of Switzerland. Helvetica meaning like, let's look at it. Like the type, the font. Confederatia Helvetica in Europe. Officially the Swiss Confederate. Okay. Landlocked country. Yeah, I knew that part. Thanks, Wiki. We knew they're not on the ocean, Wiki. With all due respect to Mrs. Coleman, Bad Cop Baron is hot. Oh. Great show. As always, Christ is king indeed. Evie. She'll allow it. She'll allow it. Ani, Granddad Baron, thank you. Skipped me yesterday, but I am number one fan in Miami. Is it true that EK will host White House match? I don't think so. Christ is king indeed. P.S. Isn't baby sent divine? It's the best. Yeah, I warned people yesterday that I was going to have to skip a few because just time. Just time. I know suficiente tiempo. Yeah, it's divine. No suficiente tiempo. Jen was wearing dog tags in one of the videos. Watching RBP since Google Trends. Hopefully, I'm your number one fan from South Nashville. Christ is king indeed. You have to fight Candace for that one. No, I'm just kidding. Well, wow. I'll have to get her permission for that one. If you're going to try to take South Nasty, you're going to have to fight the queen and the principal. When you talked about Trump watching the UFC fight on the White House lawn, I imagined him as the evil emperor from the Gladiator giving the thumbs up or down. That's what I imagined him as. Like, take it to an arena. Longtime viewer since Google Trends, Ian's referral for Super Chat ever, just claimed number one fan in Edmonton, Alberta. Love your show. Never miss it. Big in Oilers country. Jenny G in Pico 2. Checking in from Athens, Georgia. Hold, please. Athens is great. What a great town. Home of REM, the band. And maybe Widespread Panic, too. Can't remember. I might be wrong on that one. What is the bug spray you're talking about? I just said it. I pulled it down. It was a spur of the moment Amazon purchase. Now, B, I already claimed number one in Greenfield. But for real, have you looked into the junkyard fires across the U.S.? It's a rabbit hole, and it's crazy. No. Junkyard fires? Do we really have multiple Greenfield, Indiana people fighting? Is it like Meridian versus Broadway here in Greenfield, Indiana? A scrap metal company that's had multiple fires. This is crazy. Really? 13 junkyard fires? Are scrap yards being set on fire so we lose old car parts? Saw a podcast this morning about a recent theory of scrap yards being set on fire possibly to encourage new vehicle purchases due to reductions of available old car parts. My first search about this showed about a dozen recent scrapyard fires. This is posted 5 hours ago. I smell an opening statement. And it spells like scrapyard fires. Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. I'm going to have to fall into that one. Hi, Mr. B. Love your program. Fellow attorney like you from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Living in Winter Garden, Florida. Stephanie Sue. Have a great 3-part show about Karen Reed case. Excelente. No, thank you. I'll check it out. Karen Reed case. Brian Higgins destroyed his phone and disposed on a military base. I claim my hometown. Number one, Rochester, Indiana fan since Grand Rapids is taken. Rochester, Indiana. Where is that? I should know that. Rochester, Indiana. Rochester, Indiana is in beautiful, picturesque, stunning north central Indiana, middle of a series of fields. Yeah, it's just kind of there, isn't it? It's about on the same latitude as Fort Wayne, but appears to be about an hour or so west. Yeah. Okay, I'll temporarily claim Guyton, Georgia, Northern Idaho in my very near future. Thanks for all you do, sir. I look forward to you and Candace on the daily. Thank you, Angel B. Thank you. Love you, B. Claiming number one in the southernmost something. I'm number 7 out of 8, raised by Archie Bunker. God bless. I bet that was a wild childhood. He would be a heck of a parent figure. Saw you had a woman claim the number one Michigan fan. Just want to throw my hat in the ring for number one Michigan fan. That's a dude. You're the best beat. Well, see, you now clarified. Getting in on the claims, Rhonda is the number one fan in Dunedin, Florida. Tampa Bay area. Love the show as always. Christ is King. Keep going, Max. Christ King indeed. I will. Claiming number one fan in Clarksville, Tennessee. Yeah. Like Fort Campbell, Kentucky. That area right there. I got a haircut today with a new stylist who I'm going to keep. As we discovered, we're both big fans of you. Uh-oh. Really? There's two of you in Clarksville, Tennessee? Wild. My hair cutter is also a fan. Okay, I claim number one in Tarrant County, Texas. But of course. Dallas, Fort Worth, not the same. However, I live close to DFW Airport. Love your show. Christ is King indeed. At the very least, you'll have greater DFW. Number one fan. Bowie, Maryland, checking in. Already claimed, guys. Can't have it. Clovis, California. Never see California come through. No. But you'd be surprised. LA has a stupid high percentage in our stats. I'm voting Lynch, LG, and Ladybugs. Look it up. Lindsey Graham and Ladybugs? I'm down for a Lindsey Graham story. A Ladybug rumor regarding Lindsey Graham refers to an unverified internet and pop culture claim. We're off to a bad start. Originating from viral. Oh, no, I can't read the rest of it. No, I can't read the rest of that. Oh, come on. I can't read that. I hope that's not true. Always fun to hear your travels. Shot in the dark. Do any work in Chatham, Alabama? I have been to Chatham, Alabama. I think. Is it on the west side of Alabama, just next to Mississippi in Butler County, or near Butler, Alabama? Is that where it is? If so, I've been there. Chatham, Alabama. Let me look it up. I think so. I think I had to take a dirt road to get there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's in Washington County. So yeah, near Butler. I've been to Chatham, believe it or not. We had a car wreck when I was a baby lawyer. This would have been close to 20 years ago. We had a car wreck that we were working in Chatham, Alabama. That's funny, man. Is there a courthouse in Chatham? Let me see here. Is Chatham the county seat? Because if so, I was in your courthouse too. Washington County, Alabama county seat. Chatham. I've been there. I've been to Chatham. I was on the scene of a car wreck investigating, and then I went to the courthouse there in Chatham. You have to take a dirt road to get there. And it was interesting to me, there was no security in the courthouse. You just walked in. Like that, a lot of courthouses, you got to empty your pockets, go through a magnetometer. Not in like 2006, 2007 Chatham, Alabama. You just kind of moseyed in a side door. They didn't care. They're like, howdy. Yeah, I had to take a dirt road. I went through Pineapple, Alabama to get there, I believe. That's if I'm not mistaken. Representative Brandon Gill called a colleague's commentary from Ohio low IQ on the floor of the House yesterday. I instantly thought of you. Christ is King. Burns, Tennessee. Yeah, that makes sense. Low IQ. He's been listening. Number one, Warren, Ohio fan here. You're my best B. You're my best, my B. My B. Sliding in a number one West Palm Beach fan spot. Say hi to my baby cakes, who would find it amusing that his mom entered a super chat. Hey, baby cakes. Hey, baby. You call your son baby cakes? Gifted 5 membos as a flip off to the PDF comment. Thank you, Rose. I saw the 5 membos. You're very kind. Hey, Bubba Baron. Love your work and your high IQ personality. Thank you. This is my first super chat, and I'd love to claim number one Buckinghamshire, UK fan. Charlie. Love Charlie. Catching lives now instead of watching later. Great start to my summer break from school. Number one fan in NorCal. Bringing some high IQ to the Golden State. Christ is King indeed. I'm very curious how your gubernatorial race is going to turn out. It'll give me an idea of how many Republicans left the state over the last 5 years. Could the Facebook page J be an alias page for Jen the producer? Like Blake Neff had his side page to trash people on? Is there a Facebook page called J? I'm probably going to have to search. We'll give it a quick gander. J. Oh, yeah. It's a lot of J's. I figured as much. I don't know. Edge. Yes, in the vid, you were smug talking about Blake Neff, Tyler Boyer, the war, midget horse, etc. And I love it. Oh, I didn't know I was smug. But since you love it, I'll allow it. I'm Erica. My brother's Gary. We don't claim them. Good. Good. Last night, I left a super chat asking for the #1 Wyoming fan spot. Didn't see my comment. Did I make it? Love your show. Of course, you're the #1 fan in Wyoming. Well, who are we going to give it to? Liz Cheney? No, it's yours. King Baron, loved the opening. Watched the whole Karen Reed case. Felt like from the beginning it was the worst case. The evidence was horrible, allegedly. Prosecution was not well presented, in my opinion. Well, sometimes they don't have a lot to work with. Jumping in at the end here. Can't wait to go back and watch. I'm a Karen Reed fanatic. Aiden, Turtle Boy. Wild as it gets. He holds nothing back ever. He responds to stuff every day. LOL, Crisis King indeed. I'll have to check out this Turtle Boy. Man, don't let the Haas defendant scare you off. If you decide to have TB on, they have stopped others. It'd be a good show. Talking about Turtle Boy? No Turtle Boy, please, Kristen. Oh, Critter has spoken. Sorry, guys. Critter's a good commenter. She's a daily. I never miss a show. #1 fan from Boona, Texas. Boona. I'm a host. I watched both trials with Emily D. Baker. So funny to hear you present evidence. They were great trials. Oh, well. Duly noted. Claiming #1 spots from Switzerland, Florida, between Jacksonville and St. Augustine. Christ is king indeed. As if being a Joe wasn't bad enough. Turns out I don't want to be a Jen or Gary either. Yikes. No, you don't want to be a Jen. You don't want to be a Jen. That's for sure. Your Honor, thank you for the English class. I greatly appreciate it. I keep Leo in this high IQ community. Well, I do my best, darling. Gamini. Do my best. First super chat. You mentioned Warrior with G.I. Jen and talked about Princess Warriors last night. Related somehow? May I be #1 fan? Southwest Ohio. Former Indianian too, but Boiler, not Hoosier. You know, Dom is a Boiler fan of I Don't Give a Dom fame. Good podcaster, but she's a Boiler. I'll allow it. Charlie hired him because Tucker asked him to. Well, that's the rumor. Richard Marcinko's founder of SEAL Team 6, duly noted. #1 fan from Addison, New York. Addison. First ever super chat. Just want to tell you hi. I love your pod. I'm late to the party and we'll listen on Spotify while I'm working tomorrow. Spotify's great, guys. If you ever miss a show, it's a great platform. Some people find there are fewer commercials. Edge. I'm so giddy that someone else knows Brer Rabbit and Tar Baby. Uncle Remus is beloved. We are high IQ. We are high IQ. Waving from Nashville near Belmont, Lipscomb. Oh, you're in the 12 South area. Wow. Granny White Pike. Well, I mean, that runs between Belmont and Lipscomb. How about that? Oh, that's wonderful news. Wonderful. #1 fan from Colorado. Been here since the beginning. Go Max. Kick rocks, Gary. Kick rocks, Gary. I think he heard me. Your Honor, learning. Darling Gamini, you're welcome anytime. We're here. Your Boston accent is hilariously bad. Yeah, it kind of sounds like Mark Levin. My #1 fan, Louisville, Kentucky. Christ is king indeed. Indeed. #1 fan from Northern Colorado. Weld County, smartest county in the state, refused to vote for Victor Marks. Love watching you and look forward to the laughs you produce. Christ is king indeed. How about that? #1 fan in Nolensville. I'm a pig. I've been to Nolensville. I used to go to Nolensville when it didn't exist. Nolensville students used to go to Brentwood High School, so I had friends out there. and that we went to school with, and it was nothing. Like it was Concord Road, dead ended into Nolansville, and I mean it was just. There wasn't much there at all. At all. Number one fan from Southern Arizona, Mexico border. Here since 9/12/25. Sub number 304. Oh my gosh, you've been around a long time, Alpaca Renee. I know you've been around a long time. Life has been rocking my world, but God is good and has my back. Blessings to all high IQ outfit members. Alpaca Renee, I knew you'd been around a long time. I did not know you'd been around since sub number 304. That's amazing. That's amazing. And 1,000 times that many people have joined since you've been around. That's crazy. The actors that work to influence the public and jury pool in the Delphi case are also very much behind the Gary Andrea Burkhart crew. Really? Maybe you can cover it, Baron, for lessons. Is that true? Is this true? Interesting. I want to claim number one from Enoch, Utah. Enoch, Utah. Missed the last two live shows, but better late than never to join the party from your number one fan in the Mississippi Delta, Greenville. Pronounced Mississippi. Just now starting the show. Love you. Christ is king. Indeed. All the way from the Delta. Came across a video of you 10 years ago. How's it possible that you were a more handsome, humble host than a decade ago? Because as I tell people, booze makes you ugly. That's the problem. That's the problem. People don't realize how ugly they are because of the alcohol. Quit drinking alcohol, and all of a sudden they tighten up a little bit. Graf is judge in Lego case 2. Orders videos down. I'm going to have to cover this Lego case. This is crazy. The real Baron Coleman, greatest hits. Baron. That flag is Haiti. Oh, where Victor Marx was meddling. Don T calls it a doo-doo hole country. So 'twas the reference, not what Lindsey G and Benny the Grifter. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Go Max. From number one listener in Latvia. You're on the right side of history, brother. All the way from Latvia. I don't know if I've ever talked to anyone from Latvia. Married evangelical youth minister, was a pathological liar and had credentials taken. Divorced after catching him talking to a 16-year-old. Years later, married evangelical cheater, ugh. Well, Nemi. Third time's a charm. Tell Bree Cronin Moss is the best LL attorneys. Oh. Lemon Law. Bree. Number one fan of Bonanza, Colorado. 9,500 foot altitude. Only 9 residents, so it can't be taken yet. Your H2O is another rabbit hole. Oh, goodness gracious. Really? So delicious and relatively inexpensive for what it tastes like. I'm not going to look. There's some things I don't want to know. I feel a little bit like Jack Nicholson in the A Few Good Men. Like, you sleep behind the safety I provide. He's telling them that they don't look into it, so they don't know. I'm not looking into it. I don't want to know. It's excellent. Only 9 residents. Wow, Bonanza, Kentucky. Only 9 residents. Noah's granddaughter's 2 days old. Lucky number 7. What a gift they are. Congratulations and enjoy that blessing. Waving from down the road near Belmont, Liscombe. A lot of people in the 12 South area. That's amazing. A funny story about that area, Gigi. No one else may care, but you will. So when I was in high school, I worked at the Brentwood Auto Wash, and we had people from all over work there. And there was a guy named John. He went by John. And John lived in that area. Well, I hadn't been back there in many years, but when he lived there, all the houses were kind of falling in and a really high crime area. But I had to take him home from work a couple times, and it was a scary ride, admittedly. And drop him off at his house. And he said, come in, get a soda. I'm like, oh gosh, didn't want to leave my car out on the street. But I went in. And like, they sat around on telephone books. Like, they didn't have furniture. And no, like, you know, like the electricity may or may not be out. And I hadn't been that better for years. I mean, 20 years hadn't been through there. And then one day there's traffic and I get off in Melrose and I need to cut over towards Vanderbilt. And I'm like, I'll just go back there. I know how to get through there. I'll just keep my head down and duck. Didn't need a duck. It's like wall-to-wall, multi-million-dollar houses as far as the eye can see now. It's called gentrification. They came in, bought up all those old houses, knocked them all down, and built these palatial estates. Beautiful in there now. Whole area is nice. So after Big Bang, Mikey was on call for prayers marathon. First calling Rob to ask for prayers. Now Jack, who's next? Claiming number 1 for Croatia. Christ is King indeed. He did not call me. Just so we're on the record. If he ever tries to claim he called me, he did not. Okay, so in all fairness, you've only skipped my super chat twice. I did? I'm sorry. Jesus wins. Trying to claim number 1 Missouri fan of the number 1 podcaster. Feeling a tad bit hurt. Skipped me again last night. Have I staked my claim? It's okay. Still love you. Keep truthing. Christ is King indeed. I didn't mean to skip you. But when it gets super late, I do have to kind of skip around a little bit. But it's yours. Number 1 in, I'll give you all of Missouri. You can have it all. Everybody else has to take a step down. How about that? Is that your payback? See gratis ally flag in crowd as MJ was going into first day of trial? No, I did not. By the way, my name is Kim. Okay, that's all for now. Congrats on the grandbaby. So exciting. Well, it says Colin. But now I know it's Kim. I love your work, Baron from Australia. Australia, mate. No knife. Christ is King indeed, mate. The way JH told FT he called first seemed accusatory. It seemed like he didn't know what his story was. You are the turtle boy of the Charlie Kirk case. Well, I don't know if that's a compliment, so I might have to fight you. I have no idea if that's good or bad. But I'll allow it. B, had a chat when you were talking about Cincinnati. Celebrating 22nd anniversary today. Met in Cincy, and husband first told me he loved me at Montgomery Inn. Also, maybe you were talking about the church where we got married. Immaculata. Let me look. See if it's it. I'm looking. Hold, please. Sorry. That's it. Is that way up on the hill? I think that's it. Hold on. I got to look at it in a satellite image. A map image. Yeah, that's it. That's amazing. What a small world, poetry girl. I prayed in that church back in whatever year I was there. I don't even remember what year that was. A while back. Just call Coeur d'Alene CDA, like we locals do. Oh, Coeur d'Alene. You call it, that's the same number of syllables. That's not a shortcut. That's not an abbreviation. You actually lengthen it. CDA takes longer than Coeur d'Alene. You can almost do 2 syllables with Coeur d'Alene. Oh, Coeur d'Alene. I'll allow it. You need a battle bun tonight. I have a battle bun hat. I don't. My daughter took it the other day, and I don't have it back yet. Should have put it on. My B, number 1 fan from Pensacola, Florida. Low-key freaked out when Candace said Larry lives here. Keep up the good work. Christ is King indeed. Keep your head on a swivel there in Pensacola. Missed my first super chat. Too early, maybe. Number 1 fan, rural Queensland, Australia. Walked past a lady the other day. Your voice coming out of her phone. I looked at her phone, smiled, and winked. She smiled and winked back. We're making connections in Queensland, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievable. It's a weird feeling. Coming in late. Did you see this? Rather than dog DNA, they found pig DNA on O'Keefe's shirt. Jesus Christ is King. No, I didn't see that part. Admittedly, that's hilarious. What's your favorite Beatles song, Granddad B? Christ is King indeed. Well, I was singing Blackbird all day, but that's not my favorite Beatles song. There are places I remember in my life. Such a beautiful song. Get the little harpsichord at the end. Oh, beautiful song. What a beautiful song. G.I. Jenn is all up in Gary's live chat, swatting negative comments like flies. Had to take a peek. It's scary and awfully low IQ. Oh, what are the negative comments about? I can only imagine how many people they're having to block tonight. You know, he would have a lot more fans, probably a lot more viewers if he would stop blocking everybody. Paramount impractical. Is he still live? Oh, he's off now. He tried. Gary. Sorry about it, Gary. You deserved it. Hi, Baron. Received my turquoise high IQ t-shirt today. Love it and wearing it proudly. Such a bright turquoise color, too. Such a bright. One of my favorite hoodies I own is a turquoise hoodie. I don't know if I've ever worn it on this show. Not on the main show, but either on the member shows. I don't know if I've worn it or not. Claiming #1 fan in Sydney, Australia. Please don't do the accent. Love you and what you do. Mel. Please look up William Sasha Riley. Don't worry, boys are hard to find. Trump connection, very important. Also, Nadia Marcinko, one of Einstein's girlfriends. I can imagine. Is she related to Richard? I doubt it. Say she's from Slovak. Worked for a cell phone company that would take SD cards from turned-in phones and post pics on amateur sites. Always clear your pics off your phones. Are you serious? Isn't that a crime? Should be. Those people should get life in prison. Dang. Love this version of you. G.I. Jenn needs to read Luke 12, 2, and 3 and do some self-reflection. Go, Max. Well, Jen? Since we assume you're watching. Next, they're going to make fun of me for coughing. No, what they're going to do is tell me I need to get off lisinopril. I'm not on lisinopril, Jen. Knock it off. 12, 2, and 3 says, and I quote, Jen, if I can find it. Nothing is covered up that will not be revealed, Jen, or hidden that will not be known, Jen. Whatever you've said in the dark shall be heard in the light, and what you have whispered in private rooms shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Jen, I wonder if God's going to say, were you really wearing military clothing and pretending like you're in the military? We were going to let you in, but be gone. Victor must be horrified by Jen falsifying your service time. Respect the 3 years. 2 years, 11 months, and 10 days. Off topic, I know you've been busy, but have you been keeping up with the CrossFit season? And if so, who is your pick to win the games? Awfully hard to go against Alex Kazan this year. She's in incredible shape right now. I think she really will be spectacular if she can stay safe. It's always hard to know if they peaked too early. It's hard to peak twice, Mad Season. It's hard to peak twice. And she did so well last weekend. It's hard to know if she peaked too early. But yeah, Alex Kazan be tough out this year. And last year she was injured, obviously. Not her fault. She got a car wreck. And on the men's side, man, James Sprague always peaks at the right time. I think it depends on the workouts this year. Like, are they going to be machine heavy again? If so, Hopper's got a shot. James Sprague has a shot. I don't know, man. If they're not machine heavy, now you bring in the play some of the shorter athletes. But when they have so many machines, it's hard not to pick these 6-footers. These giants in CrossFit terms, 6 foot, 6'2". These guys are huge. In CrossFit terms, CrossFit historically has been like the 5'7" to 5'9" domain for men. Yeah, I think those would be my picks right now, based on what I've seen so far. Need new spelling poll, please. Mama or mama? The first one, M-O-M-M-A. My mom's a mama. Always been a mama. I still call her mama. I'm 46 years old. I'm trying to get her attention. It's mama. JH, not on Mikey's call log that he shared with Candace. That's correct. Because they're all liars. Lord, I spelled peak wrong in my last chat. Forgive me, B. Oh, I didn't think you were trying to get a look. B unit, when you get fired up, B unit. Wow. When you get fired up, you remind me of a cross between Larry David, hilarity, Bob Newhart, repeating, and Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers. Doesn't sound very intimidating, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'll have to reevaluate. I need to watch tonight's show and reevaluate. My kid said, you must be my brother. Love you, bro. Oh, love you too, bro. Number one fan from Syracuse. 1R as well. Been around since before the bad cop hat. Oh, you've been around a long time. That's before the bad haircut. Late, but claiming number one fan in Ventura County. Ventura Highway was a great song. Is that near Ventura County? I'll allow it. Big Bear and I lay claim to the number one fan out of San Jose, California. Been here since Google Trends. Love the show. Also, shout out to my favorite Baronites in Oakland and Berkeley. I'll allow that as well. I've been to San Jose. Oh, I flew into the San Jose airport, but beautiful area. Beautiful area. How many times did Gary blink tonight? Too many. Too many. Hey, Baron, first super chat ever. Watching you pull a Baron the other day made me laugh. Missed those moments. Hi to all your Icelandic fans. Lived there 2.5 years while in the Navy. Love your show. We do have Icelandic fans, and they speak a beautiful language. Baron, number one from, is that a real name? Dowagiac, Michigan? Claiming? Dowagiac it is. Christ is king indeed. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. Victor Marks, pick redact maybe GGK standing down there behind mom. EK sent last night, but may not have made it. Love you, B. Bad Gary, unacceptable to say. Christ is king indeed. Maybe. I don't know who was under his legs. That's weird. I don't want my kids under other grown men's legs. B, noticed last night you didn't seem to be coughing as much as usual, and less tonight. Y'all considered food allergies and possible parasite connection to asthma? You saying I got the parasites? If it's, I do have food allergies to asthma, and I do tempt them a little bit. Like peanuts get me fired up a little bit, and I did have some peanut butter today. Milk is horrible on my asthma. I did not have any milk today. So if I'm coughing more than usual, it's probably the peanut butter that I had about 3 or 4 hours ago. Well, now it's been about 6 hours ago. That's probably what it, if I had to guess. Yeah, wheat, dairy, eggs, nuts. Those get me going the most. I can eat the nuts. I just got to be careful with them. Eggs is a no-go. Like, I can't have any of it. John O'Keefe was not hit by a car and did not hit John O'Keefe. And a car did not hit John O'Keefe. Oh. Okay, I believe you. Second super, please read John Mappin's tweet. He responded to Blake's post. Check John's replies. Huge Candace defender and big TPUSA donor. Have him on the pod. I've actually interacted with him behind the scenes a little bit. I do believe he might come on if I asked him. I just never have. I don't know that he would. It's not to speak for. Yeah, but I don't know where I don't know what time the reply was. I don't see it immediately. I don't know, like, how far back am I going? I'll have to look into this later because I'm scrolling a pretty good ways and I don't see it. So sorry. I wish I could help you. You got to give me as much information as possible when we're doing stuff live on the fly. Rocking my high IQ tea today. Number one fan from Westfield, Pennsylvania. Don't know where that is, but I'm sure it's beautiful. You're popular with DFW, Real Estate Pros. I'm number one. I'm 1-2 tied number one fan. Duly noted. 2:27 a.m. search was real. Chloe bit John O'Keefe's arm. Higgy Bear and Brian Albert are complicit in cover up, and Colin was in the house. Bang, bang. Solved. My little guy heard your Fiji water bit and made me buy some after his baseball game. He is also obsessed with Adidas now. Most of all, he loves Jesus. Christ is king indeed. Raise him high IQ. Your son sounds amazing. I mean, amazing. I hope he loves the water. Baron, look forward to your show. Don't always catch it live, but always watch later. You bring light and laughter to this mother of 6 and grandmother of 5 so far. Thank God no PT today. I'd be cooked after this. Love PC. Fire podcast. Moon Goddess, do your PT. I'm sure you have homework. Go do it. Love the member show with Nissy. Well done. I did too. I really liked it. I'm a mom in Ventura County. My name is Mikey, but not McCoy. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Number one fan, Duluth, Minnesota. That's way up there and it's cold. Number one fan in Newburyport, Massachusetts. First place of the U.S. Coast Guard. Go Max. Great show. I did not know that. My grandfather was in the Coast Guard. Search time wasn't inaccurate. It was real. Watch I Don't Belong Here with Sam. And an expert proves it. KR's experts weren't frauds on the stand like Cantons. Witnesses destroying phones as well. Imagine that. Your first number one fan of them all says no day off tomorrow. Thank you, Cubby. 2 days off in a row. All the withdrawal. Love you, B. Christ is king indeed. Oh, I'll take that. Were you the first super fan of them all? Number one fan? Did you start this nonsense? I actually love it because I love seeing where everybody's from. Number one fan from Panama City Beach, Florida. Christ is king indeed. Jen McCabe is just a mom like Erica. Vomit. Yeah, well. Jen equals king for military. Does a lot of gardening. Oh, no. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Did you hear champ Sean Strickland isn't allowed the 250 UFC fight for criticizing our greatest ally? That was the rumor. That's the rumor. He did say that. But have you looked to see who owns the UFC? Name starts with Ari, ends with Emmanuel. Number one from Avon, Indiana. Oh, I've got family in Avon, Indiana. Number one fan from McMinnville, Tennessee. Been in the news recently for fighting against an AI data center being built here. So far, we're winning. I know where McMinnville is. That way. No, it's that way. Number one fan, Montgomery County, Tennessee. That's that way. Returning member B, glad to be back. Running late, rewatching from beginning. I'm horrified. Can't believe these people are gainfully employed. Thank you, bringing this stuff to light. Unbelievable. I'm wondering how Gary pays her. Because tonight he only had 1.7 thousand total views. And I'm not knocking people who have smaller podcasts, but they usually don't have paid employees. Not just number one fan, but probably only fan in Meyer, Arizona. You'd be surprised. We're huge in Meyer or Mayor, whatever it's called. Number one fan from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Birthplace of Jimmy Buffett. That's true. He's an Auburn man. You knew that, right? Did you know that? Getting dollars from UFOs. It's that kind of show. I'm a widow, so you can't argue. Oh, no, Lindsay. I'm cooked. Mineral Wells, Texas. Home of famous crazy water. I don't know what that is, but I'm scared of it. I don't want any. One fan from South Carolina, Hilton Head Island. Getting specific, first super chat I've ever done in my life. Oh, representing Hilton Head Island, Elizabeth. Hey, is it possible to fix the knuckle situation? Asking for a friend. Yeah, you eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. Fix all the situation. You don't have to control volume when you eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. It takes care of itself. Hi, B. Please research head of ATP. Listed on Victor Mark's site. Chaz Y has connection to IZ and Molt Calv Chapels via his nonprofit Horizon CF. Site list partners, including our Soldiers Speak ORG on way back. Okay. I think I know what you're saying. Thank you. I'm a SME on both trials. Google. How's long to die in the cold. So she miss Googled how long to die in the cold. that what you're saying? She said hose. Jen McCabe, 2:27:40 a.m. is very accurate. Motley Crue of Pastors motto, doth protest too much. They also mentioned the distance in feet at Charlie Kirk that they were standing, and it changes. Why? Oh, that's a good question. Grammy B here, number one fan from Fort Huachuca, who started this trend. Awesome. Becky, thank you. You give me a little geography lesson around the country. Number one fan for the Sand Hills of North Carolina. Lots of North Carolina left for big fans here. You're just taking one little small portion. Hey, Baron, for your number one Southeast Ohio fan, go Bucks! I think it's been taken by a few people. You're going to have to duke it out. Hello, King Baron. From your number one fan in South Carolina, Christ is king indeed. Got bad news. Guys, she's taking it over. A childhood Hoosier now residing in Utah. Married a Pacific Northwest man. He always chuckles when my old accent sneaks in, which happens more since joining the jury. Are you saying people from Indiana have accents? Jane Pauley does not have an accent. Anyone born on that I-70 corridor between Columbus, Ohio, and Illinois, St. Louis, no accent. We are accentless. Everyone else has an accent. No one claimed Moscow, Russia. So I take that one too. We're big in Russia. Okay, all these Floridians. I'm calling number one for Davenport, Florida. Davenport. I don't even know where that is. So hard to find it. Number one fan in Copperas Cove, Texas. Christ is king indeed. I saw you, Summer Styles. I saw you sitting back like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to play this trend. I'm not putting a number one fan. Copperas County, Texas. And then it's in, and now you got it. Someone said the song, number one fan of the man from Tennessee. Now I'll have that in my head for a few days. Milwaukee's number one RBP fan, Badger Claws Engage. Sound like Jen might be into that. Number one fan in Johnson City, Tennessee. Never miss a show. Thanks for all you do. I have spent the night in Johnson City, Tennessee. Believe it or not. We were driving back from D.C. and we stopped to take in a NASCAR race in Bristol, and we stayed in Johnson City, Tennessee. Happy birthday, Freckled American. Elders, equal, no filter, and hilarious. B, congrats on becoming a papa. She's so blessed to have you as a papa. Never met either of mine. Would have loved one like you, sir. Thank you, Baron, your family, and your team for all you do. Christ is king. Indeed. Actually, the old, let me check something. I have to look something up really quickly because you just reminded me that my papa status, well, granddaughter was on the move a little bit ago, making sure she made it safely. She did. Picture Gary getting a text about what was transpiring on your live while trying to host on his live, and the host asking if he's okay or got something in his eyes, causing all the blanks. Claiming number one, Aledo, Texas fan. It's yours. You have it. Thank you. Arinda. Is that Arinda? Arena. While the lies, when the truth is so easy, they are hiding something, and I want to know every detail. Don't forget to like the video. It helps. It does help. Or where are we on likes, people? Are you guys being good? Yes. We actually have more likes than live viewers right now. I'll allow it. Oh, my goodness. Time is running short. Thank you, Grandpa. Houston, Texas. Thank you for your truth. RBP or RIP, Charlie Key. Yeah. RIP, indeed. That's sad to say that way. But, yeah, he's no longer among the living. Best spot in our emerald green caddy was mine. Being the young, you drove an emerald green caddy when you were growing up? Youngest of 7 in the 70s somehow was legal. The back window. There was some weird furry rug up there and super comfy, and no one could touch me. Yeah, that was legal back then, wasn't it? We just kind of laid wherever. My mom and I are watching from Centralia, Washington. Keep going, Max. I'm not going to look it up because I am imagining it's like if you folded a map of Washington in two, it would be right there where the corner, like the four folds come together. That's what Centralia, really? That's what I'm guessing. I bet it's beautiful. He said Butch Hibbs was 25 to 35 feet away. It's possible the exact number was 33. It's always 33. Number one, Choctaw County, Alabama fan here. Pennington. G.I. Jenn is flapping her gums in PT chat. I know where Choctaw County is, too. It's down there by Washington County. I'm familiar. McCabe lied, saying Karen asked her to Google it on scene so she could cover 230 search, but she misspelled in a hurry, so retyped again, thinking she could offset the original 230 search. 3 searches. That's crazy. Liars. They sound like Butch Hibbs or Jack Hibbs and whatever his name is, the lying guy. Frank Turek. Been listening for many, many months. I tuned in from Littleton, Colorado. 3rd generation Colorado native. Christ is king. Indeed. 3rd generation. You don't get many of those. Still the number 1 fan in Northern Utah. Scrappy. We'll take the others down. I don't doubt it, Grammy. Don't doubt it. I hope you're not the only. I hope I'm not your only number 1 fan from Bismarck, North Dakota. No, we're big in the tundra. I'm a number 1 Middle Eastern fan spot. That's a big area. Abu Dhabi, UAE, to be exact. Why not be number 1 in the whole region? Well, the GCC countries are yours. Hello from Chilton County, Alabama. Oh, Clannon. They don't say Clanton. They got a big peach. They don't say Clanton. It's Clannon, Alabama. And Maplesville. You've got Maplesville in Chilton County, if I'm not mistaken. Knew a woman from Maplesville one time named Miranda. Number 1 fan from Longview, Texas. Longview. That's how they do it. They say, I'm from Longview. Number 1 fan in Hattiesburg, The Sip. Number 1 fan from Kansas, running late per usual. You guys, it's all over the place. In my opinion, Charlie Kirk hired Blake as a favor to Tucker. Well, that's the official story. We don't know if that's true or not. Columbus, Ohio here. OH. I can only say that because we beat you guys in the Big Ten championship. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that. Midwest is best. Love you and Candace. I love you more, Mrs. Hatch. May I claim number 1 Camp Hill, Alabama fan? You may. Is that in Lee County? I think it is. A little concert venue over there in Camp Hill. I've been to Camp Hill. Number 1 fan of New South Wales. Is that what it's called? Australia? Love the show. Yeah, of course. Baron, seems to me TPUSA is in dire need of the School Sisters of St. Francis. The lies and insulting our intelligence would end rapidly. Christ. They need Christ. They need Jesus. What they need, a bunch of them. Number 1 fan from San Angelo, Texas. Number 1 fan from Westfield, Pennsylvania. Tioga County. Wearing my High IQ shirt today. Love you. Love you more. Love you more. No Turtle Boy. You'll lose High IQ title. Oh, gosh. We're going to have a turtle off. There's the only way I think we can solve this. I got people saying no Turtle Boy. I got people saying yes Turtle Boy. I got people spelling Turtle Boy with a turd at the beginning, but they seem to like him, so it didn't seem to be an insult, so I don't know what to do with that. We're going to have a turtle off. It's the only way to solve this. We'll do like a Royal Rumble. Number 1 fan from the most remote incorporated town in the lower 48. I'm going to guess what state you're in. Wyoming. Most remote incorporated town in the lower 48. No, it doesn't know. Supai, Arizona. Most remote without road access. Most remote road accessible, Jarbidge, Nevada. Farthest from a major urban center, Glasgow, Montana. I guess it depends on how we calculate. He's a quixotic king. I'm claiming number 1 from the van down by the river. You don't live in a van. Tinfoil Tierra. Claim number 1, High Ridge, Missouri. She wins. Yeah, well, not everyone can claim High Ridge, Missouri. In my opinion, Charlie Kirk hired Blake Neff. Convinced and deceived that BN had confessed, repented, and turned to Jesus. Now, that's a good point. Maybe he's saying I don't judge people by their lowest moments. And then he realized he did not, in fact, repent. Well, maybe he didn't. He did. Hey, Baron, it's hard to say what comes to mind when leaving one of these super chats, but I want you to know that if you ever go to Utah to find the pile of dirt, I want to metal detect it. Much love. Well, your name suggests you would be good at that, search recovery. The J Facebook page was the one you showed us that Gary reposted. Could it be Jenn? Oh. That's a good call. I have to go. Oh, you're talking about the X feed. The X feed. That's interesting. That's really interesting. JTC 53. You think Jen's posing as a homosexual looking male? Because this is the profile pic on that page. You can get surgery for that gynomastica. You don't have to leave it there. Yeah, that's the guy who is trashing your humble host. I don't know. Maybe she's like Larry. You know, she's gender confused. Number 1 in Salt Lake City, Utah. Had to rep Lexington, Kentucky. We're the best. BBN. Christ is king. I'll allow it because I know, Victoria, you probably love your cats. Dude, I claim Missouri on member show. At least let me share. All right, you can have a claim. Sarasota, Florida. Much love. What a wonderful place. Correcting previous message that Jay pays on X, not Facebook yet. Got it. The one that you showed us that said something nasty about you. Could it be Jenn? It could be, but I don't think it is. But maybe. Number 1 fan in Mason, Ohio, north of Cincy. Did you hear the Irish Lion in Bloomington closed? So sad. Such a great place. I did. And I thought Jenko's closed, but they said no, it didn't. Now, Mrs. Coleman and I, when we lived in Bloomington as Mr. and Mrs. Coleman, we used to eat at the Irish Lion, and they had the most amazing, like, cheese balls. I don't even know how to explain them. Like soft, doughy, wonderful cheese bread fried, but it was like more cheese than bread, and it was like oh, gosh. Irish Lion. That was a great place to eat. You can deep fried mashed potato balls with garlic and cheese. Now tell me, they're called Blarney Puff Balls. Legendary Irish Lion restaurant in Bloomington, Indiana. Blarney Puff Balls. They were so good. I would eat one right now. Was there ever any follow-up to the video a few people made retracing TR's steps, and the girl was heard saying TR wasn't alone? One of the boys may have been Phil L's nephew or some relation. No, we need to go back and look at that. In fact, I know a show in which we will do it, and it might be as early as tomorrow or Sunday, because it'll go along with the show that Daisy and I were putting together for today that we put off because it wasn't ready. I hear Gary in SpongeBob voice, so not IQ of me. Well, maybe irrelevant. Pensacola is one of the largest evangelical colleges in the United States. Wondering how much Larry Loon is willing to invest in crusading. TPA is spending more fundraising in Michigan to continue funding the young state rep Michael Gibbons, who was the principal investor in Superfeed Tech, app signed by EK's mom, passed away just 4 days after Charlie Kirk. What? Michael Gibbons passed away 4 days after Charlie Kirk? Michigan? Yeah, he died September 14th, 2025. Daisy, we got to look into this. Daisy, we got to look into this. I'm leaving that pulled up. That's interesting. I hate remakes, but Ozzy doing In My Life is amazing. Number 1 Prestonburg, Kentucky fan. My Army son expecting his first child in December. Grands are the best. I agree. I've not heard Ozzy doing In My Life. Did he do that? In My Life. Yes, he did. I do remember this now. This is old. Yeah, 2005. I do remember that. You're right. You're right. I forgot about that because it wasn't like 1980s Aussie or early 90s Aussie. Look up Baby Beatles, Sweet Baby for the Grand. You're welcome. Oh, thank you. Got here late. If you don't like negativity, change the channel. I don't mind me turning the volume up. Well, what time did you get here? 9:05? You're probably just getting to it. You're only Little Rock fan. Well, my husband also. Not my only. TPUSA insiders despise Erica Kirk and send them to me. What up now? That's how I got them. I got a bunch of them. I'm not going to share them. I would never do that. But I can't stop with, I can't make people not send me stuff. Like once it's on your, it's there. Like what am I? In the other room briefly, when you started scolding Jen, my name, and I briefly thought I was in trouble. Not you, Jen. Never you. Call stayed in equals Hibbs doesn't know. Think about it. Oh. Providing some Yankee rep, number one fan from Strong Island, New York. Also a sales rep at AT&T during college. 2 guys got canned for stealing customers' picks. That's so scary. Overwhelmingly Republican up here. I've never met a Gavin Newsom fan in real life. Yeah, but the whole state is not. Abba Baron claiming Pismo Beach. It's yours. Never heard of it. Outstanding effort. Crisis. Absolutely king indeed. Indeed. With your allergy of eggs, I hope you don't get flu vaccines. I don't get any vaccines. Tim Pool was supposed to interview Turtle Boy, but received legal threat and backed out. Would love to see you interview him. Well, you want me to get a legal threat? Who do you get a legal threat from? Candace, convicting a murderer stuck on DW, so guilty. Number one fan from Crockett County, Tennessee, named after Davy or David. Uper fan from Escanaba, God's country, country of Michigan. Appreciate all you do, Baron and crew. Yeah, I struggled with that yesterday because it feels like it should be Wisconsin, but then I learned it was some trade with Toledo. And Ohio got the wrong end of that one. Uncle B, where's your hat? Enjoying the military green high IQ outfit. Appreciate the realness. Thank you for all you sacrifice for us. Any prayer requests for you? Congratulations, Pappy, Crisis King. I'm indoors. Number one fan from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Sounds Indian. I know they have a lot of reservations there. Yeah, I know PT is stupid, already done. Well, it's important, though. Important. From Central Kentucky. Oh, PT homework. New subscriber. You go, Bubba Barrel. And I think G.I. Jen is wearing Gary's dog tags. She borrowed his collar and leash, too. Gosh. He might be into that. Jack Hibbs interview. So fake and gay that it was uncomfortable to watch. Anyone with an ounce of discernment could tell it was all lies. I tend to agree. G.I. Loomer must be related to Larry. Number one Tabor, South Dakota fan. Tabor. Checking in. Gary's a dummy, but he's chosen to take part in the cover-up for money. He's not harmless. He's dangerous. Well, he likes to think of himself as dangerous. Dangerous Liberty. 70 and 75. Dayton, home of Annie Oakley here. Yeah. Annie Oakley. OMG Small World, Centralia, Washington. From Chehalis, Washington. Oh, they're waving. I had no idea, Moon Goddess. You've got neighbors. If you're still live, the Andrea thing is true. I'll re-email you with jury tampering and subject. Please do, Charlie's Angels. Ironically, entrance, mental, and physical training standards for Special Forces was much, much higher when Mitch Snow was in Special Forces than when Gary of Paramount Tactical was in Special Forces. I'm not going to knock anyone's service or entry into anything. I mean, you're dealt with. You play the hand you're dealt, right? First time Super Chat. Number one fan from Lewiston, Idaho, via Arkansas and Michigan. Lewiston. I want to say the good doctor, Lee DuPont Trotter, also practices in Lewiston, but I might be wrong about that. Good evening from East Tennessee. Well, good evening, Heather. Rabbit hole's getting more shallow. Thank you and the entire decentralized intelligence agency for being light and darkness. Tucker called Charlie, vice versa, and recommended Blake. Tucker told the story on the Charlie Kirk show. I heard that. I heard the story. That's the rumor. I'm one fan in Greenville, South Carolina. By the way, my name is Karen. You know Karen. What year was that? I want to say it was in the 70s. I used to practice law with a guy who was the son of a former mayor of Greenville, South Carolina. His last name was White, Cooper White. Mayor Cooper White. He pronounced it Cooper. I like to claim number one fan out west in Gardnerville, Nevada. Big fan since September 25. You're a joy and keep me informed and entertained. Thank you. Christ is King, for certain. For certain indeed. Check phone. Oh. It's Daisy. No. What is this? No. What is that? Not who I think it is it? I'll have to look at that. Daisy's been a member for 4 months. Not the number one fan from Dog Patch, California, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Christ is Savior and King. Dog Patch. Had to miss watching live for the first time because hubby and I had our first date since 10-month-old was born. Now we're both catching up separately as we fall asleep. Congrats on being a granddad. Thank you. And I hope your date was spectacular. Number one super fan and grand jury member from Idaho. Missing New South Wales, Australia, though. Oh, I bet. I call dibs. Biggest fan in Puyallup. Did you ever hear CC try to say it? Who is CC? Is it Coach Colin? Is it Coach Colin? It's got to be Coach Colin. Yeah, it's got to be. No, I've never heard Coach Colin say Puyallup. Texting him right now to ask him. Coach. Texting him right now. I'm being asked to have you send me a voice text example of how you say Puyallup, Washington. I'll play it for you when he says it, if he gets this in time. Sometimes he goes to bed early. Look at how the Charlie Kirk YouTube channel is now collaborating videos with Andrew Colvette's channel. The pivot begins. Zach. This is Zach Costello show, ladies and gentlemen. Daily live broadcaster. And there's a member show with the Zach Costello show. If you've not had a chance to check it out, it's phenomenal. Zach. Do you think they're going to try to steal and put Andrew in as sort of the Charlie Kirk successor? That's good intel. Sorry, it's supposed to say Moscow, Idaho. Oh. Moscow, Idaho. Yeah, close enough. Am I your only fan in Albuquerque? No, we're huge in Albuquerque. Are you kidding me? The only fan in Albuquerque? Let me do something here. Let me look at the analytics from last night's show and see how Albuquerque did. Cities. Why is it so slow tonight? I'll have to look in a second. Oh, there it is. Cities. No, it's doing that thing again. Get the little rainbow swirly. Oh, cities. There we go. Albuquerque. Search. It's doing that thing again. So Los Angeles was first. It almost always is. Maybe you are the only fan in Albuquerque. Maybe you're it. Maybe you're the only one watching. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know why it's so slow. The analytics are really slow tonight. No, Albuquerque, 442 of you last night. Not the only fan in Albuquerque. So take that. 441 other of you watching. Burlington, Washington. Isn't it crazy how they think we don't know they did it? Oh, gosh. Well, you came right out and said it, didn't you? God bless you. Jesus Christ is king indeed. I only have time for a few more. It's already been a long time, and I got to go to the bathroom. Ed, speaking of phones, even though AK Phones broke, couldn't its contents be obtained from cloud and service provider? Why does it matter? Sorry if low IQ. Only if he's backed it up. Number one fan from Mexico, Texas. Former home of Anna Nicole Smith. That's something to be proud of. Was the old man there, too. You have to check out Turtle Boy News. He did extensive work on this case, and I'm here just outside of the town it happened. Baron Baby Beatles is music lullabies. Oh, I'll check that out. That sounds fun. McPherson, Kansas, longtime listener, first super chat, first and only subscription to your channel. My kids ask, Mom, do you ever watch anything else? No, she doesn't. Stop asking. No one has claimed our nation's capital yet? No, not yet. Not yet. It's yours, Isla. Not too popular there. Number one fan from Newton, Iowa. Keep going, Max Barron. I will, and I've got to cut it off there, ladies and gentlemen, because the time is nigh. We're here. You know how we say welcome in, welcome in, welcome in? Welcome out, welcome out, welcome out. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit all the buttons, the things you can join. There's a join option if you want to watch the member shows. Again, I think I'm going to have a fun show next Friday. I've got the guest confirmed today, and it looks to be a lot of fun. It's someone I greatly enjoy watching, and I'm excited to talk to her. So we'll get that queued up. And I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow holds. So just stand by. If we decide not to do a show, I'll let everybody know. If we decide to do a show, I'll let everybody know. Either way, we will keep you informed. Almost. Is everybody paying attention? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you guys saying, oh, you missed it. You missed it. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. There it is. It's twice on the transcript. Jesus loves you 3 times. Have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you happen to be. And I will talk to you soon.